New year.
Woo!
It's the Hangout New Year edition.
2026 edition coming at you on the first day of the new year. I hope everyone is having a great 2026 so far. 2025, I don't know. Mid-year, I would say. I not had some down parts of 2025 for sure. So kind of not too sad to see it go, but excited about what could be coming up.
Isn't it every year? You're like,
I feel, yeah.
This year
I
don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like last year I had more. There was more positives, I think, last year than there was this year.
I agree.
But
Mid-year, but you know what? We have predictions.
Yeah.
We have insights around things that have happened in the news, our own personal feelings and things that we did. And
a reckoning on predictions that we made at the end of the year last year about what was going to happen in 2025, and we'll see, how accurate we were. Not very.
On a few of them, mine were actually kind of tuned in on.
Yeah, all right. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to. It would be great. Anyone out there listening? Nice. Laura ruled 2025. If you're out there listening, and we'd love to hear your things that made 2025 amazing for you, or any of these categories. It's always fun to see everybody.
And that's going to be our main topic of the night. So we're going to do the normal show, but in terms of like the podcast, it's always great to look back. What did we do this last year, and where are we headed, and I like to call out those things that may or may not have happened.
And there is some things where I did and just kind of want to get it out there and talk about it to someone. It's like sometimes you don't get to talk over your favorite things, and it was fun. It's always fun every year. I love going back and reflecting on this because I'm not a super reflective person just in general, I would say. So if there's a thing that we're doing and I need to reflect, then that's great, and I always enjoy it, but I need that prompt. So these are always fun
to jump into it. And sometimes it's hard for me, and once I get on it, then I start doing it.
Yeah.
But there was a couple days I was like, that's coming up. I need to do the thing. And you freaked me out last time. I thought we were going to do it for last time.
Adam thought he was going to have a half a day to prepare for this. And luckily it was a couple weeks.
It was good because I got to think about a lot of things. And it also, we'll get to it when we talk about some of the insights around like things versus more of the in the cloud or in your mind or things that you interface with. I think we're changing as a society, or at least with some of that, and what's important or cool that you can get anymore.
Nice. See, that's what you get from reflection, right?
Heck yeah, I do.
But we're also going to do news. It'll be like the normal show, and then also we're thinking, love to do a big community game of Jackbox at the end.
Heck yeah, Jackbox. We got
new
Drawful Animate.
A new drawful for the end of the show.
Well, new to us. Apparently, it's been out there forever.
No. It's from like pack 7 or something, and they're on 11.
It was pack 8. I had to buy pack 8 to get this.
Okay, yeah.
So hopefully some of those other games are worth it. Those packs are like $30.
Wasn't it on sale? I thought it was like 22 or something.
On sale,
so I was like, good. Just write it off to the massive corporation of Double Drop Down.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
All right, we want to do some list.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for humans, Ryan?
Yeah. So we typically do a question for human at the beginning of the show. I think some of these
Got mixed
up a little bit because my wife and I were doing some of them, which I thought was fun. So let me just make sure that I have some from the right side.
Well, I'm gonna look at which one I'm gonna bring up on my
Okay,
list.
you bring up one from your list.
I wasn't even there. Some of these are very
all right.
personal. I don't know if I ever want to say
Here's a good one.
All right, here we go.
What's a video game you dominated as a kid?
Oh my God. I think we both know yours is what? A fighting one, right?
Well, so I mean,
Or Mario Kart?
There was gosh, yeah. You're bringing up a lot of there's sort of multiplayer games, I feel like, but then there's also, I feel like, single player games where you're like, I have this whole thing memorized or whatever. I think of, we were at a thing this week and we were playing light gun games at an arcade, and I was telling my kids that Adam Pocious and I had the highest scores on a game called Time Crisis 2.
Oh, yes.
And
That
we
was
would go through,
amazing.
and I was telling them that we could play through the entire game without getting hit. Like there were, I mean, it didn't happen every time.
No.
But and we had Jay and Bob was our name, and we had every single high score throughout the entire thing. And I was like, that is mastery. If you were to talk about a game that you dominated as a kid, that is one.
And you had to pay for it, and it was designed to bleed your quarters.
Totally.
But the reason it was good is you could hide, and then you had to learn the tricks.
Yep.
That was hella fun, and it was co-op.
And it was co-op. It was like perfect side-by-side couch co-op. The gun would go click, 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 like every single time. It was very visceral. It was great. Time Crisis, underrated.
We got Guitar Hero in the
Guitar
chat.
Hero.
Man, I could only ever do the three fingers.
Medium. I was a medium guy on Guitar Hero all the way. If you put me up to, I would play high on Guitar Hero and just think like, how was my brain even work this fast? How do people do expert? I have no idea.
Well, and people just do that on actually guitars and things like that.
Actually playing guitar. Okay, do you have one?
I mean, mine was always Tetris. It was Game Boy Tetris.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved that. And I would crush kids, and I still enjoy it. It's like but everyone loves Tetris today.
Sure, but I feel like have you played the sort of 1 versus 100 Tetris?
I have to do that. No, I have not.
And have you heard about that though?
I had. Yes.
I feel like you would probably get addicted to that.
I know, and that's one of the problems. I used to do a lot of the puzzles. They have like different versions of Tetris where things like drop and they connect, and they're really fun. And they had this subscription I used to do for it, and then they're like, guess what? We're just canceling this. It's no longer going to be a thing. And I was like, there's the app. Like, let me keep at least all the games. They're like, nope, we're shutting the entire service down. It was like a Tetris app. It was nuts.
Oh man.
So I hated it.
Is okay. Do you have a question from
I do.
your okay.
What kind of silence feels comforting to you?
Ooh.
I would say, and so I guess it's not silence, but it's like a very subtle silence when you're near the beach at night.
That's a good
and
one.
you hear that every time I go to bed at night. I say play the waves, and that's what happens, and that's how I go. And so it's like a silence in a sense that it's very just a calming.
Yeah,
I know I'm out there.
You know what I would say is I'm gonna go similar, like outdoor. I always feel like summer at like in a backyard, and you can sort of hear like birds chirping and a lawnmower going in one side, and you're sort of just like warm and out there and under the shade, and it's sort of hammock style, and you can hear dogs barking a little bit and things happening,
but
like,
it's all under a
nice.
desolate. It's like it feels silent.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like your background silent noise.
No, I think that's it's calming, and it's
It
being
is.
outside in nature and having all those little things coming together, and it's not alarming. I like it.
Okay, I have one.
All right, let's shoot.
What's a hard truth about life that people don't like to admit? Some hard truth that we all just sort of sweep under the rug. I have one. If you need a minute.
Go. Why don't you start it?
So I was just gonna say a thing that people don't like to admit is like luck has so much to do with your entire how you are. I mean, obviously it's your luck of where you were born and, you know, what area code even and all of that. But even just throughout life, like you can, you know, we try to be like, would you rather be super skillful or lucky? And you're like, oh man, probably lucky. Just because that plays so much into it. You could be the hardest working person in one way and it just doesn't work out, and it just doesn't work out. Right. And you could be the bumblingest dope on one side and it just works out for you. Right. And it's just the luck of the draw, you know, and people don't like to admit that, right? Because then you don't have any, you don't have any say in that, really. So
yeah, no, that's a really good one, Ryan. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking like we had the chat. The American dream is a joke,
right?
I mean, work hard, you get
right.
your house,
go to school,
and do your thing. And I feel like
2.5 kids.
It's. I was looking at a chart recently, and it showed the inflation and how much you make versus how much it costs to do a house, and how astronomically high and unachievable it seems to be, and how it used to be. And that's where lots of people are like, well, just work hard. You don't work hard enough. And you're like, well, I'm working like 3 jobs and I still can't even afford to live. How crazy is that?
I like this one in the chat from Laura. Life is easier for pretty people. You know, it's like just true, right?
Yes.
I feel like it's like subconscious. It's like lizard brain. Be nice to pretty and mate with.
Some luck you have to make. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I mean, that's a really good one, is that you have to be in the right place. Put yourself in the right place. Like do the things that get you closer to that.
Absolutely, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
For sure.
That. Hey, those are good. I feel like we've been coming up with some good questions for humans.
You have got they're like emotional. They're insights. They're like they're human related.
I feel like I learn more about even Adam. Like, you know, I feel like I've known you for so long, but sometimes, you know, you don't ask someone what their biggest emotion is that they are good at faking.
For sure. You're like, wait a second, you've not been my friend this entire time.
Yeah, like I'm really easy at faking being someone's friend for multiple years at a time, when really just being seething underneath and hating him.
and I just keep doing it. I'm very resilient at that as well.
Like, right. Good one, Adam.
Oh shit. No, that's good. I was thinking like a truth too, because I never even said any of those. But it's almost that you're, and they said it, you're a slave to money, then you die. It feels like that no one really truly looks out for you other than you yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing you got to think about, is that you do have to look out for yourself. Not that you can't be empathetic and a good human to other people.
Totally.
At the end of the day, you got to really, you know, within yourself, put your own gas mask on.
Put your own gas mask on. Well,
put your own oxygen mask on, and get yourself good, you know, so that you can kind of look out for yourself.
Totally. Hey, those are amazing. Should we move on to news? Because I feel like there are some cool ones in here.
Heck yeah, there's some good ones. So as of this last couple weeks, of course, news gets a little light in certain cases. Sure. I get some things, a lot of year ends, a lot of recap videos for every single service that you have.
Wrapped. I get a company X wrapped for every company that I have a service of.
I looked at ChatGPT
wrap,
I was like, what? You best not be rapping. Well, I don't want you to tell me what I was chatting this last year. So I clicked it, and it was like, you have to turn on memory. I'm like, damn right. I didn't turn that
okay.
on.
Oh, so it didn't know? It didn't know anything?
No, it had nothing.
It had nothing. Mine did.
You turned on memory. That's probably why, right?
It's I feel like it was pretty tame. It would be like you had 73 messages or something like that. You know, it was not like this very
it didn't go in depth,
insightful, thing all about you. It felt a little wimpy.
That sucks. Well, good thing it wasn't like going into my deep memories of the things that I searched. Because I used it for like, I'm like, here's my work bucket, and here's my like double drop down, and here's my, I'm just asking weird questions, and I need to understand medically.
And it's terrible. I feel like it's awful at separating those and thinking that those are just different parts of your life and not necessarily cramming them together. Cause like it will sometimes I'll do the app like where you speak to it and it'll greet me in a way that's like, hey, you ready to talk about leadership development and AI and pixel art? And I'm like, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't patronize me. Like I am more than the tool that I am using you for.
We're excited about your leadership journey in colonoscopies.
Yeah. You're like, oh, ignore that, family. Everything's fine.
I love it. All right. So let's get into some of the fun articles we got, right?
Yeah. And this started out strong with robots and some America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh, do we need to show this?
Absolutely. So if you're listening to this, you should definitely tune in or find this thing. I mean, Robot Kicks Human in the Nuts. You could just play that or search for that. But this is out of China. They're doing a lot of just robotics in general is doing a lot of, what is that? Telemotion or something.
Yes.
Where one person, the robot is just mimicking whatever the human is doing. So it's mimicking him. It's walking around like he is. And so it's kind of, it's maybe like a second too off or it changes. And then I like how it then of course goes down too, because it's still mimicking him. Crouching over. I saw one headline that was like, robot kicks guy in the nuts and then crouches or bends over in laughter. And I was like, no, that's how it's happening.
I'm pretty sure that's not. Well, the funny part is it was like self-inflicted, but this is also what's kind of scary about these kind of things is that you're going to be controlling these huge things in the future.
I mean, what was that Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie with Hugh Jackman?
Oh yeah, I do.
Real Steel. It's gonna be all Real Steel style, where you just.
This is Real Steel.
Yeah,
right
like
here.
if those two robots were fighting and the two guys were just off to the side, that'd be great.
Oh God.
And he would just mime ripping his head off or something, and we could just see robot.
But what would happen? Brutal. How would you have the haptic feedback of that as the operator?
Hard, right.
I mean, it's like those robot things, though. What are those? The shows that are out there already. Robot Wars.
Yeah. Well, and see, those are like toasters with
saw blades
with
and
saw
stuff.
blades on them and stuff. Not like a two bipedal. I don't think any of them are pedal at all. They're all just robots.
Yeah, we're seeing bipedal now, but watch it be like what was it, Big Hero 6 or something? You bring out your little robot.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it has like 6 arms and it's crawling all over the walls and stuff. That's what I want to see with robots. We'll talk a little bit about that in the predictions episode or part of this.
Oh my God, I don't know if I want to see that. This next one's pretty awesome. Every year, on January 1st, something happens. There's things that enter the public domain.
I feel like this came into my sort of knowing about this when Steamboat Willie, when Mickey first happened, because that was so much and nobody cared about anything that was written 100 years ago anyway. But now we're 100 years into some actually interesting things. And usually what ends up happening is some big movies or something come out, right? That now can use Winnie the Pooh or whatever.
So in this case, it is a huge batch this year.
Yeah.
There's books, films, songs, characters, cartoons, all of the things. Like some of the main ones that people are excited about is Betty Boop's
Betty Boop.
First cartoon,
Okay.
Dizzy Dishes.
All right.
Coming out there.
Betty's Burritos can now live without copyright fear.
That's true. I don't know if that's actually
No, I'm sure not. They just
is that what the thing was? Betty?
Yeah. Well, they has a bunch of Betty Boop stuff inside of the restaurant. But anyway, that's an inside Pueblo joke for our Pueblo friends.
Pluto, the originally rover, that one came out.
Right. So the dog.
Yep. Pluto the dog. Yeah, that's correct. Not the planet. Not the planet. Or not the not planet. And Blondie and Dagwood. I used to read those all the time.
Yeah.
Classic comic strip.
Okay. They're going to be like a terrible Blondie and Dagwood DreamWorks film coming out now because these
they
are open?
Probably would.
Yeah.
It's going to be AI versions of all of this. Betty Boop's going to be everywhere right now.
Pluto is going to be huge in 2026. That's my prediction.
All right, I have a little video for this one too. So
That's right. So we can see all of them.
we can see all of this.
Because there are some obscure ones. I did not know all of these for sure.
All right, so let's take a look. And in this case, there was a bunch in here. So this is made by Duke Law, by the way, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Marx Brothers stuff, like that's kind of interesting.
T.S. Eliot, Little Engine That Could.
The Little Engine That Could. I feel like that's great.
Let's see here. We could stop these. Last and Few Men.
I've never heard of any of these.
These are definitely just books that are getting in there. Like,
Yeah.
look how the art
I love
style
that.
on this. Like, this is original.
Because what would 100 years ago? I mean, obviously we're looking at 1920s.
Nancy Drew, this is the one.
Ah, all right.
So they were thinking you could start to remix some of these old Nancy Drew mysteries.
They're like, you know, what's funny? Well, I'm sure they could do that. They make Nancy Drew video games, and they're like little kid mystery games for like teenagers. But then there's a whole bunch that don't use the Nancy Drew license and do some kind of other type of thing. I was like, I wonder if everyone just switches over to Nancy Drew at that point.
It just becomes the new thing. It looks cool. This reminds me of all the Hardy Boys books.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we used to. So Nancy Drew. It's Art Deco, by the way. I saw in the chat come through. Musical compositions. Wait, hold on a second. The King of Jazz.
Georgia on my mind.
Yeah, these are interesting. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at some of these new rap beats that people are gonna start using or mixing it up. Three's a crowd. Wow. Okay, so film Animal Crackers, Marx Brothers. Dang, those look good.
Alfred Hitchcock movies. It's cool.
Morocco is a big one. 10 more
The
silly
cartoons, the cartoons that they're showing are very much still in that really early cartoon Steamboat Willie style. But you know, Pluto in there.
First appearance of Pluto right there.
Originally named Rover. All right.
Rover.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Man, these are pretty crisp, these clips of videos. Some of them
You know, they're getting better at like
digitizing and AI them. Oh, the big trail. Is that John Wayne? It is. He's really young.
Ran really young.
There it is. Betty Boop. I did actually watch it.
It's an awfully animated. That's so weird.
Sound recordings by Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
That was the only one I really knew.
Yeah. That's neat.
Dagwood Comics.
It would be interesting to see like what's coming up soon too.
What other next ones are for the next year? Comics are interesting. Like, what can you do? Can you just re-release the comics then? And like draw?
I think you can use the characters, right? And so you can use the scenes and you can use the characters and you can draw them in your own way and use all the words and everything.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do that. We're making a Betty Boop video game.
Betty Boop Game Boy game.
Oh my god, that would be good. All right, that's fun.
I think we should do that every year for sure.
Do the rundown of all the new things. Like, so what
in
would
case something hits? Like, what if like I see something and it inspires me and it's copyright
could
free?
we do something with that? Could we put like a little Betty Boop part in our stream now? Like, hey, this is Betty Boop.
She introduces the show.
This is the news. I don't know what Betty Boop sounds like, but I don't know if she had a sound.
Yeah, did Betty Boop even talk?
I'm pretty sure. Shoop 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 doo doo. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's right. Did she do more than?
I don't know if she actually said that.
Sing little.
That's not copyright public domain yet, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
Get takedown notices.
Right. Exactly.
All right. This next story is interesting. Denmark Postal Service ends. So I thought that was just kind of crazy as you think about how things have changed over the years. So basically, their postal service had delivered its final letter on the 30th, and so that's like 400 years.
A 400-year-old postal, service. Basically part of the government, right? They were just closing that part of it. I mean, they were saying it's like 90% down or something between that. So did they not do Amazon packages and things like that. I wonder.
Well, so I don't think they were going through that service. So they have all the other delivery services, the
Right.
actual just organization. So it's going to another organization. Like they're not like, hey, no more mail, and there's no way to do it. It's just now through another.
But it's
service.
like a private, because I always think of this being bad, right? Like I would always think, you want something like that so that it couldn't get taken over. Like private institutes, can get taken over easier by people who aren't elected and just have money. And then they're like, maybe we don't allow the post office to take stuff from poor people or whatever, right? And so I would always think that would be bad. But I guess if you're down 90%, what are you gonna do?
Well, it's like they didn't innovate. There wasn't a lot going on. There's other services that are a lot more efficient. The other thing I think about it too is that there's just been a change in the need of things. Like sometimes I'm like, what is propping up the U.S. Postal Service? All the junk mail spam that I get.
Well, because you still don't they still like send packages through all like the like when I buy something on eBay or when I buy something on Etsy, like a lot of times it comes through the Postal Service.
Most of it is like Amazon delivery services and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a couple things that come through the post, but not very much.
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't know. So do you think so? Would you say if the Postal Service that we had right now was going down 90%, would you just be like, just axe it?
Yeah, it's a hard thing. I'd have to see
because it's easy to say like whatever the other one, but I feel like I would feel bad.
Oh yeah, it seemed like a very interesting. I see in the chat that Mike Zool says Denmark doesn't. They had a ban on spam mail, which I would have loved.
Right, exactly. That's why it's down 90%. Right.
That's part of the reason why I would say I might not be too sad because why are we pushing all this junk through the mail? Is it necessary? I don't know. And then political season comes around. You get a bunch of political stuff. I mean, what is it like? When was the last time you got a piece of mail other than something that you purchased that was actually something you're like, oh, I want to open this up?
Christmas cards.
Okay, that was the silence that we. No,
I got checks and things that were nice.
Of course, those are nice. I feel like they could be delivered through other ways.
A different way, perhaps. But all right, we'll have to see how that goes.
Next one, I'm just going to do a quick hit on this because I thought it was interesting. It's a very flashy headline, Ryan. Russia is building nuclear on the moon.
Building a nuclear
power
reactor.
Plant.
Yeah, okay.
They're thinking by 2036 they're going to have their power plant on the moon. And what they're trying to do is set themselves up for a more longer term kind of population of the moon to do more experimentation. Apparently there's a race because the U.S. is also doing something similar. Yeah,
the U.S. announced it this year, right? So
here we go.
Now I wonder, you won't, maybe you don't know this, but and no one probably does, but gosh, do they really have the space, program to do something like this?
You would think that you'd have to come together.
Right.
To do something like this.
Yeah.
It would make more
it would
sense.
Be massive. It would be a massive undertaking.
So they signed some contract with a big company that would involve some other nuclear firms that would do this. So it's, from a Russia standpoint, we'll see how it kind of materializes. And
right.
Also with the U.S.
I don't want races with Russia don't typically turn out great. So I'm against having races.
The whole point of it is it's like an energy technology, geopolitical kind of competition. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons as to why they'd want to do this. The first to put nuclear and start to live on the moon.
The United States had a pretty aggressive timeline too for that kind of stuff, if I remember correctly.
Well, and I just think that the topic of nuclear has gotten a lot more crazy lately.
Totally. They need power. People need power.
They do. And why do they need it? We'll talk about that soon. Let's get into some of the AI news. So this one is the French coup, and this is exactly the kind of stuff that we were talking about. So the president was getting called by other leaders saying, hey, are you okay? There was a viral video that got over 12 million views. I think it was on Facebook, showing an overthrow of the government in France. And
it was like tanks behind him and stuff or things happening.
Helicopters,
that's scary.
news, and to the point where he had to go hey, I'm fine. This isn't a real thing. But they were like, was it a ploy to kind of push towards that?
Right.
Or what was the thing? And then you tried to get it pulled, and they're like, hey, this doesn't break any of our norms.
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw like he tried to get Facebook or Meta or whatever to take it down, and they were like, it doesn't violate any of our terms of service or whatever for making this kind of stuff. But then I think that whoever it was who made it took it down when people were like, hey,
come on,
you're really messing with people here and thinking that an entire country is taking over because of your silly video.
It was really that they were just like the pressure of people. There was probably somebody that came to his door and like, we're gonna break your legs.
Or like, we're gonna prosecute you for something, and you're gonna go to jail for a really long time.
You're like, take it down
Yeah,
right now.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, more and more of that is gonna happen, right? As it gets better and better.
And the thought too is that, the AI company or Meta, they're profiting from that. They got engagement and views. They don't give a crap about some of that. That's the worst part of it.
We'll talk about some of that in the future. It's like I feel like we're touching on things that I just want to go deeper into, but predictions and next year.
We are going to talk about that deeper.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it soon here. All right, so this one we've talked about a couple times, and we say the AI bubble, right?
Yeah.
And what is the AI bubble? Like, what does that truly mean? There's a lot. And so this goes into a financial kind of
I hope
discussion.
you're not asking me to explain it.
Ryan, can you please explain everything?
And then you just pause as I explain what an AI bubble is? I hope not.
No. I was
It was rhetorical.
Rhetorical for you. So the idea is that right now, the amount of investments into different technology companies and AI kind of technologies, the valuation for them is probably the highest it's been in a long time, and not like from the financial crisis that happened, the 1930s stock market crash, the internet boom, and as we did the .com things, is that the best way, like explaining it like I'm five kind of mentality, is that if you had a lemonade stand and you sold your lemonade for $1, right? Somebody came in and says, ooh, this is going to blow up and I want to like help this business. So I'm going to give you $10 for that same $1 lemonade because I know that this thing is going to blow up. I'm valuing it at $10 and I'm going to help your company with that. So that's essentially what's happening, is that we see these big things, these opportunities with AI, and people are valuing it higher, thinking they're going to get this really big return on this investment. So that's going crazy right now. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up as we talk about a bubble is if you start to look at the numbers, that we are at valuations that is the highest margin in valuations that has been around, that indicate a potential downturn or some sort of crash or a bubble pop that is about to happen.
Yeah, and I feel like you see that in a ton of different companies, right? Where you go, what actually do you make? And you're valued at these billions of dollars, or companies are buying you, or people are investing in you for the idea that you have someone, and you have someone who's, famous or whatever in AI at the head of your board, and so now your company is worth billions of dollars. I definitely don't understand that. I feel like I sort of am sympathetic a little bit. Like, those tech companies are building this thing up like AI is the next fire, right? Or the next electricity. And when you see that, you go like, if everyone is saying that and we're pushing this, and when I use it in my little ChatGPT thing, it feels like a freaking oracle. You're like, I could see where you would say maybe it is worth 10 times. I do think we just haven't figured out the killer app even yet for AI. Like, I feel like we're still sort of using it as a tool, and it's a fun thing, and we're kind of, around the edges of it. But I don't think we've even hit peak, what cool AI things are going to be, even with the technology that we have right now. And I think that's what they're betting on too, is 100%. They're just like, hey, just build it up as much as you can, and then the profits will come in later. We'll just trusting it.
Because it does take time to do that. And we'll get into this in just a minute on the next article. But one of the things that I thought was interesting about this is that there have been bubbles in the past,
right? But
when the bubble burst, it's like it's a true burst. The one of the analogies that we kind of looked up was some of the railway boom that happened. So people were investing crazy valuation in railways were a big thing. It did like not necessarily meet those expectations, but it did ultimately change and reshape how we do things and how we move product across the country, how a lot of things would happen. And so I think we're in that same thing where there's definitely a bubble. There's definitely likely something that's going to say, hey, these are not worth this valuation.
Right.
But it's going to reshape things, and we're going to start to see some big changes. And so maybe it's a little bit more like that .com bubble.
I think it's even crazier probably than the .com bubble, because we don't even know what those places are building, or everyone is kind of waiting for somebody else to figure it out and then copy them.
But if you compare just the financials, the valuation, the .com bubble is almost exact, if not a little bit more at this point. So we're in a point though where the numbers kind of indicate where things are headed. So we'll see where we get to in the next year here. That might be something we can think about from the prediction side.
Yeah, that's true. Adam's predicting that Anthropic is the new pet.com.
Yeah, no. So this other one, I did a lot of the news today.
Sorry. My apologies. I had to work this week. I was one of those bums on the a dead week at work.
It's okay. So this one's interesting, and it's all about nuclear again. So data centers are the big thing, and we talked a little bit about this before the show, but there's still a lot going on with data centers right now across the country that have got me concerned. You heard the you versus me earlier in the year. We talked about AI and data centers and the effect on the environment. Well, it is going like gangbusters out there where they're trying to put data centers everywhere across the country. A lot of the power companies are like, I don't even know how we're going to be able to deliver this to you.
No, I know how. They just don't close coal-fired power plants, which they were planning on doing, a lot sooner than they are now.
But that's the thing is that they're going to be really pushing our infrastructure and our grid for a lot of these data centers to live. And so one of the interesting things that they're looking at as well, they're like, where can we start to get power? Well, guess what? Navy submarines can power large data centers with their nuclear reactors.
Just decommission those Navy submarines.
That's essentially what they're saying. They're like, hey, let's figure out if we can get some reliable submarine-style reactors. Give them on in.
Whoever pitched that at a meeting, I would love to have been a fly on the wall.
Just pull up and like, welcome to our Navy sub. We just want you to come over into this room and you see this thing right here? That's right. You could power a data center on this.
You're like, isn't this sub really doing all that much anymore? Come on. It's all about AI. That's how we're going to win.
I don't know how this would work if they would be actually they would repurpose. They would take it out.
Totally. Yeah.
They'd be like, dig this big channel, drive your submarine.
The sub is like sitting in a giant tower.
They're like, no, you can take it out. Oh crap! Really?
Oh gosh, that would have been so much easier. Why didn't I ask?
But look how sweet that looks.
That does look pretty sweet.
Coring it out. Just thinking of there's a submarine data center. That'd be cool. Like you could actually float it everywhere.
Now you're onto something.
Submarine
predictions.
Data center. Put that at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, I mean, that seems, especially if we're not using them, or I don't know. I don't know if submarine warfare is that necessarily like high on the list of our priorities.
It would have to be something with some safety you'd think about with that one.
That's true.
All right, before we get into our main topic of today, we're trying to go fast so that we can get to our main topic.
I feel like this is a good clip.
Spend a bunch of time on the rundown, and then maybe get some of that Jackbox in. I'm excited about that one.
I want to do that. New one.
So this just came out. I think it was either today or yesterday, but it was this gentleman by the name of Adam Mosseri.
Okay.
If you don't know who he is, the head of Instagram.
No. I didn't know that.
So one of the things about Instagram, and I've been noticing this lately, and I've only been recently getting into the doom scrolling. I did a lot of doom scrolling this last couple of days. I won't even front.
It's fine.
But they're basically saying that like visual content. We said this last time. You can't take it at face value anymore.
Right.
The idea that our media feeds now are almost indiscernible about reality and whatnot. There's sometimes I'm like, is that even freaking real?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's real.
The problem is it makes you question things that probably 90% of it is real, right? But then you're like questioning that because the like 1% of AI videos that actually looks real and doesn't look like a weird monster, they can look real damn close to reality.
Well, and part of it is that they're making videos that are just like other viral videos. They're not trying to make it. There are the creepy, weird kind of Cronenberg kind of style stuff. Whereas the one that I had recently read about, I think we talked about it even maybe last time, is that the travel companies or the ones that would pay influencers are just like, we could just make an AI influencer, take a bunch of pictures and video of our property,
Right.
say, throw this person in here saying how awesome the experience is, and then make a whole viral campaign. Even the influencers are like, hey, we don't have as much like kickbacks and things to go and like do our cool vacation trip to show off this thing anymore.
Yeah, because if things are close enough to reality, like I saw one that was someone doing like a squirrel suit, like one of those skydiving suits that lets you sort of float, and then you can go through a valley. And I was like, wow, is that AI? Like I don't know, they're getting pretty low next to the ground and all of that. And then I did find out that it was AI, and I was like, somebody could have a whole channel where it was just amazing squirrel suit, whatever, and that would probably, majority of people would never know. But every time I see a video that's mimicking something in real life, like I dislike that video. Like I don't like, because you're like, you didn't get, there wasn't really a big fat guy jumping and doing a giant, cannonball into the pool. Like it was just an AI thing. Like the thing didn't actually happen, and so it doesn't feel real and good to me. So I always like, I don't like those. I don't know what other people think necessarily, but like, to me, those types of videos, I don't know if we're ever going to get past it. If it's not real, I don't know.
And I agree with you. And I think where we're stuck, or we're starting to get some philosophical thoughts on this one, Ryan, but is that, no, it's good. It's worth it. I think this is the conversation, because I think the same thing. If you keep knocking yourself down over it, and like at some point you're just like, that could happen. Cool. Like that's interesting. That still gives me, it does cheapen it.
Yeah.
But at some point you're going to still just be like, oh, that's fun. I don't want to look at it.
My biggest thing is I wish AI would move past it to show me new and crazy something different that like could never happen in real. I feel like now, like all the stuff that I see is trying to mimic things that are real in real life, but it's like, show me crazy things that couldn't even be,
You can, though. You just get everything. And so then if you can quickly do some cool video clip of something, let's just chuck it through AI.
Yeah.
I feel like we just got infected. Like AI is a virus. It's been in all of our eyes and all of our things. Like I was even talking to my sons the other day, and I was like, so you use AI daily? And they're like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, geez, it just got into everything.
But like you could say the same thing for the internet, right? Like the internet or the computers, like computers got into everything that we do, right? There's nothing that doesn't use a computer anymore. And that was true for a while. And then there was nothing that didn't use the internet and logging in and doing all of that. There's nothing that didn't use that. And now it'll just be AI, and nothing doesn't use any, that doesn't include AI.
The difference is, though, is that the AI is doing something that's like synthesizing data and giving feedback and content back to you, and it's like an interactive experience that has memory over time.
Yeah.
Whereas like the internet was like, sweet, I know there's the pizza website, and I know if I go to pizza website, I can order pizza. But you had to go there. Maybe you see some pizza ads on some other websites, but it was enough that you could detach from it. Whereas this thing's like, hey, what's up? Oh man, you're so awesome.
Do you think humans will be able to get savvy enough, quick enough to like, will our kids, because that'll be in 10 years or something like that, right? Will they be able to, they will be so in it that they will know, like, yeah, I have a AI girlfriend that agrees with me all the time or whatever, and that's fine. But I know to separate that from my real life, stuff. I wonder. I don't know.
That's kind of some of my hot takes on things. But that's a great question, and I think that's where no one knows the answer. Obviously, at this point,
we're not super great at changing really quickly. Evolution takes a while.
But then we talked about, this one was the scary thing, is that they had the devices that can kind of read your brain, and we talked about this one in a news article recently. And so it was using AI to like identify patterns in your brain. It couldn't read your thoughts.
No.
But like enough to get you kind of being like, hey, you're thinking about something good or bad. And then we're in Minority Report and everything's like, exactly. We're done.
The pre-police or whatever.
So I don't know. I think we're in an interesting time. And so that last one I just thought was funny because we had said it, And of course, the Instagram had to quote us on double drop down to say, you can't trust your eyes anymore.
Good ones. These were great. I came up with almost none of these except for the robot kicking the trainer in the nuts. But great job. Like there was actually stuff that went on these last few weeks.
Are we ready for the main topic, right?
I think we're ready.
All right. Get your ears on, y'all. Put your ears on because it's time for the main topic.
It's the main topic with Adam and Ryan on the Hangout.
Come on, baby. That's right.
Is that what was that? Is it a Suno or did you sing those melodious tune for us?
That's a great question, and if you want to hear it one more time, we can because it was great. But it came from the audio that we did. So I sung the audio, and then I put that into Suno, and I was like, "Hey, use this clip." And kind of my inflections, but then like make it into a jingle and do the thing.
Nice.
That's what I came
great.
up with.
Oh, we forgot to run the news one when we did the news.
We didn't do the news one. Shoot.
Okay. That's okay. You know,
Did we do it last time?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we had it all planned out for last time, but
So we're gonna get more of those, and I'm gonna try not to get too AI-y with them because I think like that was still a cool little boom.
Yeah,
stinger.
exactly. It's just almost like fun little projects can go into stingers.
That's right. Well, let's get into the main one.
Yeah.
I'm really excited, Ryan. This is year 3 of this. Is that right?
Yeah, and
years.
it's nice because now we have a record of all of our terrible predictions, and like I said before, it's nice to reflect on a year.
It is. So the whole purpose of today, and at least on our main topic, is to really go through kind of 3 sections of things that we reflected on in this past year.
Yeah.
Then some things we learned and some things that we started to see about ourselves or about the world. And then we're going to get right into the predictions. What do we think is going to happen in 2026? This is like a perfect day for this to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It landed
on the first.
perfectly. It landed perfectly this year. And yeah, this is our 3rd year. So we'll do some predictions for next year. And we'll also look at our predictions that we made in 2025 and see how close we got.
I think there were some ones that were like misses, and then some things that were, hey,
like maybe sort of halfish way there. I don't know. We can give ourselves points or something.
Get a point system. All right, let's start with our personal touchstones.
Okay.
There's some interesting questions we had in this, Ryan. So let's just jump in. Like, coolest thing you bought this year?
Yeah, first question. Coolest thing you bought this year? Usually this is an Adam Pocious question. I always have a hard time even coming up with things to do. So I don't know. Who do you want to do? Do we want to just go back and forth, or do you want to you always go first, or I always go first?
Let's just have a conversation about this one.
Okay.
Because I felt like this year I'll start it off as it was really hard for me to figure out what a cool thing is.
Yeah. Cool. I feel like that's what's fun about this is you're like, what is cool? Because it's not, that's undefined.
and so there's the typical technology
Right.
things that are out there. And so I don't feel like it's cool. I did do a little bit more like, it was more my investment with different AIs.
Okay.
So it wasn't a physical thing.
Oh, like is the thing the coolest thing you bought a $200 1-month subscription to Anthropic?
It could have been, but I think that the concept was that I put it on a tablet to have kind of my little Oracle machine.
Yep.
And so then I can click the apps and then use my AI. So I kind of said the tablet was just there. Like that's nothing cool and super groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But the idea that I aggregated it into this nice little touchscreen kind of, I'm going to do all my AI Oracle work on the tablet.
Nice. That's a good one.
That was my thing. So specifically, I've been using ChatGPT. I have been using a little bit of a Gemini, and then Anthropic, Claude was using that Suno as well. And the experience on it and the fun of it and why it was such a coolest thing is that I use it all the time. Use it every day.
Yeah. How different is that from last year?
Because last year it felt very novel almost, or like we were still getting into it. And now I feel like this is a daily driver and I've started to get something that
I feel like you're using a bunch of different ones. Like I was using maybe 1 or maybe 2 like last year. And now I'm, it's a whole bunch of different ones for different use cases.
Central, and it became a central hub for everything. So
Yeah.
I was able to like aggregate all of my media into that space. But that wasn't. I'm gonna let you go because that wasn't my most fun one.
Okay.
But I'll talk to you about that in a little bit.
Okay, so I had one. It was it's a little tangential,
Okay.
but like I got a softball bat for Christmas, and that is not the interesting thing necessarily. It's a fun softball. I was gonna bring it, dang, I forgot. But it's a fun softball bat, right? How we got it though was the interesting thing that I feel like pertains to the show because so it's a guy and he was on my softball team, and apparently of all the guys in the entire league, this is the guy that you go for like used bats or if you want a type of bat or like, you know, this is the thing that he does. That's not his full-time job. He sort of does this thing on the side where he buys used bats from people and sells them to other people, right? And that's his thing.
Bat match.
Exactly. And he because he likes softball, he plays softball all the time, plays in all the different leagues and knows people. And anyway, it's become his thing. So we needed a bat. And we were like, hey, and he sent us this website and he was like, check out this website and pick which bat you want.
He has a website for bats.
And I was like, all right. And so I go into this website and I see the very distinct purplish pink sort of fades of everything. And I was like, did you vibe code this website? and he was like, it's funny enough that you say that. Him and his son. So before he used to sell bats to all these people.
Okay.
And he was like, I had like an Excel spreadsheet that I would update with pictures and all this, and I would email it to people, and then they would have to pay me through PayPal. And it was this whole thing that was this huge pain in the butt. And so he was like, my son was like, hey, I bet we could vibe code a thing. And he was like, he and I got Replit and vibe coded a thing, and then he paid some of his son's friend web guy, like $150 to set it all up for him on a domain site and get it so that he could log in. And he was like, now I just put everything on this website and it's super smooth, and they just go through PayPal and they just pay for it on the website and everything updates. And I was like, pretty sweet.
It's gonna be the future of.
Yeah.
But I mean, so really, you got a cool bat, but it was the story.
It was the
that
story.
Made it fun.
It was the story that made it fun.
I think the chat called it out. Like, isn't a house kind of a cool purchase?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That was last year. That was last year though.
It was in 2024.
In October.
I guess it was really close.
It was close. It was like we moved in at Halloween. So
That is
close. That's 2024. Old.
So
Okay, so now do you want to do runner-ups? That's what I
Yeah,
always had. I had
yeah,
runner-ups.
runner-ups.
Okay, so
Or-
we'll just quickly go through
this
them, right?
this one, and so it was more for my sons. They're big into tennis. And,
that's right. Yeah,
and so
okay.
I got them this thing called
I stand corrected. The house isn't that cool.
the Spin Shot, which is a tennis ball machine. This is what they got
Yeah.
for Christmas. I was excited to
practice.
get them. It shoots a ball over the tennis court net, and it is a pricey device. I will
Sure.
tell you that much. But my kids love tennis. They want to like get better, and this is like one of the only ways to do it. So the cool thing is you got this machine that shoots balls like 65 miles an hour or some
Nice.
ridiculous amount across the court, and it is a pretty interesting piece of tech.
How are we gonna? So I feel like next year, 24-hour stream. How many tennis balls can we shoot at Adam's like exposed
No.
back in the backyard?
Oh, God, no.
Write it down. Write it down.
That thing is dangerous. It is like,
that's what's sweet about it.
It's gonna be all into you, Ryan. Put little like metal shards in the balls.
Oh my God! See, now that was too far.
He took it to the wrong place.
I mean, I had a couple of things. We bought an e-scooter this year that was fun. You know, I would say one thing that I bought that was kind of interesting. Have you done a modern puzzle, like, or they call like puzzles that have different elements to them? Like, we did our first one this year, and it was a puzzle. And it had, you know how you have the edges, and that's how you always figure out a puzzle, right?
Yeah,
you
sure.
do the edges. It had edges also in the inside of the puzzle that wasn't on the main picture that you look at. And so then some edges you didn't know where they were, and then at the end there was a trick, and it was like, now rearrange the puzzle. Take the pieces that were the big sections and rearrange them, and then do a smaller puzzle in the middle that tells finishes the story that was told throughout the entire picture of the puzzle. And I was like, And usually I hate puzzles, and I was like, this is cool. It's like a different,
It's like a board
version of
game
puzzle.
puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. It was like
I
you're
never
doing a
heard of it.
puzzle, but like it's also this like interesting story and sort of a twist at the end. So anyway,
And what was the puzzle you made?
it was like it wasn't even a whole picture. It's like tiny little characters throughout. It's almost like a Where's Waldo. But then, you can see the story if you follow the path of them. It's like pirates and they're doing a thing. And
That sounds
it's
cool.
yeah. Anyway, it was neat. It was cool.
They have these puzzles that I thought you were going to talk about. It's not the same one where they do the laser cutting and they're all special, and you could send in your own pictures and they'll
cool.
like do it for you, but they're all made of wood. And my parents have got like crazy into puzzles.
They're
lately.
super into it.
They have
Are they framing puzzles? Are
they
gluing them together?
They
and
glue
framing
them. They have like 2 puzzle tables that are in
Wow.
their houses that like
Yeah.
they're constantly
empty
doing puzzles.
nest, right? It's like you have room for 2 puzzle tables.
Yes, I mean, and it's like big puzzles that take
Right,
days
thousands,
to do.
right,
So they
yeah.
go in there and they put a little bit together and.
Nice. No,
know.
but it was fun because I was like, normally I hate puzzles. So.
Well, and there's the puzzles that are like 3D too. It wasn't 3D, right? It was just like
It's-
still flat.
Yeah, it's
puzzles.
still flat. But the cool thing was you can tell some of the pieces of the puzzle were not just puzzle pieces. Some of them were like just circles, and then everything sort of fits around it, and all the characters were in every piece. So you're sort of like, oh, here's this little, where's Waldo doing something? Where can I find him? Oh, he goes here. It was neat, different.
different experiences.
Yeah. Okay. Best book. I'm going to say and podcast. I don't know if you did one for each, but I did one. So your favorite book and your favorite podcast of 2025.
Double drop down, favorite podcast.
I had double drop down on here as on the podcast. I also had that joke on there.
Oh.
Okay. You're like, not a joke. Favorite one.
Crime Junkie favorite podcast.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Adam, do you have a favorite podcast?
Go first because I did not. I listened to it.
You don't have a podcast you listen to?
I do. I listen to
they're
a
not
couple. They're not new or any ones that I would say. There's a couple that I listen to that are more like self-help books podcasts that have not been great.
That are not good. Okay, I did a podcast called Rachel Maddow Burn Order.
Ooh, I have listened to this one.
Did you listen to this? So I thought this was great. Like, Rachel Maddow sort of was at MSNBC for a long time, did a nightly one, and then moved away from that so that she could, write books. And I think she also likes writing books, but she also does these like very short, 5, 6, 7 episode mini series podcast series, and they're always really interesting, and I thought this one was really great. It was about basically the internment of Japanese people in America after Pearl Harbor, and I sort of knew about that story in my mind, and a little bit about something, but this one goes really deep into it and just talks about all the the racism and all of the cover-ups and everything that went around to do this. I mean, it was basically, they found out that, really for the most part, nobody was spying or nobody was doing anything, but they didn't tell that to anyone. And they were just like, these white people in California want to take the land of Japanese people for their farming land. And so we'll just come up with this, reason of why we need to imprison them. And it goes into everything. Episode 4, just one more thing. Episode 4 has Colorado very featured in the episode, and it has our governor, at the time in the 20s or whatever, and he let a bunch of Japanese people in against all of the people in bad Colorado people writing about how they didn't want Japanese people there. It was not great. But
so this was a multi-series podcast.
It's like 6 episodes.
6
I think,
episodes.
or-
That's what I
or-
was interested.
or 7,
So it
yeah.
wasn't just one
No.
episode, but they went and built on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of these kind of short run podcasts series. They pick one topic and go really deep into it. Anyway, Rachel Maddow is great, and I found that one very very cool, and some Colorado.
I like the deeper dive in that one.
Yeah.
We got some chat ones. Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast. Love
okay.
to know a little bit more about that. We got
Yeah,
Star
totally.
Talk is out there as well.
Nice. That's the Neil deGrasse Tyson one, right?
Yeah.
I think the Star Talk, which I pop into in and out when I see a good guest that he has. I'll pop into Star Talk occasionally. Okay, do you have a book?
I have a couple books.
Okay. Do book. The only other podcast I had was Children of Time audiobook is really good.
Children of Time audiobook.
It's a sci-fi. It's the first of the. It was like this trilogy of sci-fi books.
I'm gonna
Really,
have to check
really
that
good. Listen to this. Listen to this. Topic of this sci-fi book. they're going out into the stars. Earth is screwed. Go out. Send out a neurovirus with monkeys seated on a planet while you're traveling to the planet. Have them evolve and come up so that they can terraform the planet by the time you get there. But what happens is the monkeys die, and so it neuroviruses the planet, and spiders become like the main thing, and they're like getting all of our traits and everything, and then we show up to the planet, and it's all spiders.
This is the spoilers there, buddy.
No. That's the whole premise of the whole book.
You know what? And what was this one called?
Children of Time, really good, and the audiobook in particular has a I should have wrote down her name, a female actress that does it. She's really good. Puts a whole spin on it. I had read the book, and the audiobook changed how I even thought about it.
I like it. I'm gonna just piggyback on my runner-up then, because of what you just described, is that I've been super into anything Witcher media lately.
That's right, yeah.
And so I had read a couple of the books, not all of them, and they were more like shortish story kind of books. And so I listened to the audiobook.
Interesting.
And I was just gonna I'm just gonna listen to it. So freaking good because of the narrator, Peter Kenny.
Okay.
If you've ever heard him, he does all of the different voices of the different actors in the book. He does the female and the main actors. And there were some people that was complaining about him, and everyone was like, "You were an idiot!
Get out of here!
Get out! Peter is the man." And and he's this British guy that goes and says all of it, and it was super fun. It was a great living it that way was fun, and then it inspired me to go play the game some more.
Nice.
I watched more of the series, so a lot of Witcher media this last year, and the stories are really good. The books, comparative to what you saw in the series or even in the games, they still win for me.
Yeah.
The visuals that they put in your head and the way it's described, really good.
If you ever think about it, sometimes it's cool to look up the name of the person who narrates the book and listen to other books that they have done, because sometimes you'd be like, I never even thought of this, but they're gave it such a great performance that you can come in that way.
That's a good tip. I think I'm going to do that, because at first I was like, wait a second, what is this? I was like, this is talent. To do what this was amazing. The other fiction book that I liked was it was a short story. It's Hidden Girl and Other Stories by Ken Liu. I think it's talking about this.
That's right. I read a little bit of this.
Uploaded Intelligence.
Yeah, that was great. Yep.
It was really good. One of the things about that particular story is that it wasn't even the Uploaded Intelligence story. I think I had mentioned this at one point, or maybe I talked about it, but there was this really amazing story about a little artifact, and it started back in the 1900s, and it talked about this little artifact, and then what it would do is they would describe what was happening around it during the time that this artifact happened, and it ended up going all the way through time, all the way to some other planet way into space, and it was how this changed, and it was really cool how they anchored this one little thing and how it changed over time and how it was able to do it. Ken Liu, amazing, and how he was able to do that.
I got to come back to that book. I rented it from the library, didn't get into it enough, and then it expired.
Great books out there.
Okay, so my book of the year is this. I've mentioned it before on the podcast.
Oh.
It is called the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and this is one of those books series that has 7 out right now. Right, he's writing the 8th one. They're 300-400 page books. 300-ish page books. Right. I have read 5 of them over the last 2 months.
Really,
it has been one of those things where, and it's because they're light. It's very popcorny. It's very pop culture-y. It's very video game and Dungeons and Dragons and races and classes and mixing all of that, and very sci-fi and even sci-fi and fantasy sort of together. Maybe even a little bit of a split fiction-y kind of there, with both of the mixing those styles. Anyway, it's a super fun book. The guy, let me see, Matt Denneman, He was this guy who self-published his own thing and just sort of put it out there and just had it for free. It was a PDF that you could read and was just doing it as sort of a fun thing. And it reminds me a lot of like the Mars guy,
Martian.
Yeah, it's the Martian, how he sort of self-published and put his things out. Same sort of thing. And eventually went, oh, I should probably, publish this or do something and put it out there. And now it's this huge thing. And, it's picked up by Penguin and all of that. But anyway, you can get them for $5,
That's awesome.
on the thing. And they are just fun and interesting. It's a really interesting sci-fi story. It's super action-packed. And, I just been enjoying them. The children have started reading them. They're fun.
Dungeon Crawler
Carl is
I love it. I almost want to. Like what age range are they typically for?
So here's the thing with it. Like when you read them, you go, this should be for like 11-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But, and I'm gonna use our one. This guy must say fuck 400 times in that first book. And I was like, this is not ending up in a scholastic, book fair. So it's sort of this weird thing where it's like an easy poppy read, but it's actually for adults, I think, for the most part. But you have to have a little bit of knowledge of sort of like RPG, because it's called RPG lit. That is like a classification of literature that I hadn't heard of before this, but it just sort of draws on all of those kind of,
I'm gonna do it.
And so if you want to hear the premise, just is the very high level
Ryan
premise.
is like sponsored by Dungeon Crawler Carl here.
It's basically like they're in a big reality show game show of dungeon crawling. So it destroyed. They're just destroying the whole earth for a reality show where they all fight each other and monsters and mobs and all of that.
I think I remember you telling me about this. This is
anyway. It's a good one. Light, fluffy, pop, but fun. Did you have any other books? Like you had a bunch, right?
I had a bunch, but I think that I hit the two that were like the nonfiction ones. I did read this one called Unreasonable Hospitality, if you're interested into that one. That was about the fine dining and being able to go to number one. It's a really cool book about what it takes to get your restaurant, and it's crazy to think how nutso it is. But it talked about specifically a New York restaurant that they went through and were able to take it to number one.
There was it was nonfiction, right?
Nonfiction. It was one of my reflection books of driving up and how do you get service levels up and what are the ways that it takes to do that.
It's almost like a professional, development almost book at that point.
But it was good because it was around food and the craziness that goes into that industry and what it takes to be able to be at the top of your game, even when you think you are, like everything perfect, like even to the point where the plate and the label is the right way, even if it's underneath, it's the right way, and that you're able to do all these fun things, and that was great.
That's a good one. Okay, so the game you played the most of and why? That's because I always like, not your favorite game necessarily. What did you play the most of and why did that happen? So do you want to go or do you want
I mean, I already kind of said it. I played the Witcher. Probably the Witcher the most.
The Witcher is the most that you played this year. Which Witcher?
It's the third one. The reason I did it is Witcher 4 was coming out, or they teased Witcher 4.
They haven't said.
Which got me like, oh my god, I really want to play it.
Yeah.
And then the new season came out. I got into the audiobooks, and so I was like, I got to play it. And I had lost like hundreds of hours of playtime on my save.
Yeah,
so it was hard to get back into it. But after listening to the books, I was like, I'm going to play it. And so I played it. And hilariously, I'm cursed with The Witcher, is that I've been streaming it on Xbox. I just hit stream on my Abdonimus account. And my last 20 hours of stream have no audio, just video of me playing. For whatever reason, my Xbox screwed up and didn't send audio to it. Not that I was caring, not that there was hundreds of people watching, but I was like, it would have been cool to have my playthrough recorded and whatnot. But,
oh man!
But I've got definitely back into the game, a lot more of my achievements back. It's so fun the way that game has story and I loved it. That was the game I played the most.
Okay, the game I played the most. Split Fiction, I think. I bounced around to a lot of different games this year. I feel like I probably played more games this year than the last few years, but none to, I wasn't playing hundreds of hours of anything. I played Split Fiction the most. It was super fun. I played it from the beginning to the end. That's the only game that I did that this year, and played a co-op with my son, Weston. Super fun time for us. He played through It Takes Two with my wife, and so they got that whole bonding thing of going through and playing that together. And I was like, no, I'm doing Split Fiction with Weston. So Weston and I played through it. It was super fun. Like, I just loved that whole thing. I think they improved on everything from It Takes Two, like just not only in visuals and just the storytelling of it, but just the uniqueness in how you would play something on a screen that cannot break up into two different views. And it was just really fun and inventive and a cool storyline that I really enjoyed.
I'm going to +1. That was my runner-up.
Oh, nice.
And I said because we played it on the stream.
We played it on the stream for sure. We had like 4 or 5 hours of it on the stream.
Same thing. I played with my son.
Love that.
And it was a good experience.
More couch co-op games, people.
I love it.
God,
there is another one coming out.
Is there?
There's another one.
Well, I mean, this company, at this point, it's this is our bread and butter.
There was a different company that was doing it. Like, there's
a
resurgence.
Okay, so Reanimal, we'll talk about this. That's something I'm looking forward to next year.
We got in the chat, Clara Obscure.
Okay, so I played. So the chat has been huge on Expedition 33. Claire Obscure. I heard Claire Obscura. I keep hearing it with an A at the end. Anyway,
sure.
I probably played 5-6 hours of that also. So no A. Like, played it with Weston as well. We traded the controller back and forth. So it's sort of a JRPG or FRPG. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I feel like I might have enjoyed it more as just a episodic video series more than a game, to be honest. We were kind of running around and avoiding a lot of the game playing mechanics so that we could move through the story quicker, and I feel like that's what I liked more of it. I even played it on story mode, and I was like, I need even a story mode plus where I barely fight anyone.
I think that I played like 15-30 minutes of it when it first came out, and I was like, I'm pinning this one because I know I'm gonna want to play this one, and I didn't have the time at the time. So it got a lot of awards. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh man, it won everything.
Really,
it won everything.
Fun, and I've heard it multiple times, so I will be playing.
And I have some runners up. I played Peglin a bunch on my phone. It's the only game that I have on my phone. It's like a oh gosh, what is the name of the game where the ball drops from
Plinko?
No. Well, it's sort of like a Plinko. Someone will get it. But it's on your phone, and I paid $3 for it, so it doesn't do anything else except for play that game, and you have to be very intentional about it. Games last 20-30 minutes, so you have to be like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna play a game for a little bit, not something that just takes 2 or 3 minutes and takes up your time. So done. That's a good one. Outer Worlds 2 and Silksong.
Ooh, Silksong.
I couldn't get into Silksong. I played it for like a while, and I just couldn't.
It wasn't your thing, huh?
Well, at some point, I came back 3 nights in a row to the same checkpoint and went, I can't do this anymore.
I'm out. I'm done.
I'm done.
I lost it. You lost your touch.
Yep. Okay, favorite movie. And favorite, I would say, series, right? Or show?
Series or something out there.
All right. Did you have a favorite movie?
So my pick for this year, I was pleasantly surprised with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Nice. I didn't watch that. How you liked it? Huh?
It was super well done. Like, yeah. I didn't know what to expect to re-envision Frankenstein in the way that they did. Yeah. There were some moments in there that you were just like, sure. That's unrealistic. Sure. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But the general premise of it, I loved it. I thought they
Nice.
did a great job at being able to like keep true to kind of the ideas behind it.
Right.
The visuals were amazing.
Cool.
So the way that they built up the story, and he felt really cool, and it had that like Guillermo del Toro, but he didn't sully the story. Like sometimes when you have to retell it, they're like, we're going to just rip the heart out of it, and like we'll pull a halo on you and tell a different story.
Stupid. Yeah.
So that was
How was the visual design of Frankenstein's monster?
It was really well done.
Good. Okay. He wasn't like
Very
how
well
was
done.
he like super hot? or is he sort of like a monster? Is he
Totally. Like, so I won't spoil because this is pretty interesting, and I'll tell just from the very, very beginning of it. They're trying to show
Stealth Mouse says hot? Pretty
because you're into the monstery kind of guys.
Okay, I get it.
And so what he does at the very get-go is he's doing the prototype. Like, you just didn't build Frankenstein.
Yeah,
At least in the story how they did that. So he had this one like diorama of like kind of a guy and parts all put together, and he takes it to the court and they like turn it on. It like is kind of like moving, and you're like, holy crap, like that's probably how it would have been.
Exactly.
And then the way that he like pulls it back and like going through a battlefield, you would make the super kind of thing, but he still has all kinds of stuff, and it was pretty cool.
I'll have to. What is that? Is it Netflix?
It was a Netflix delivery. I was like, holy crap, like straight to Netflix, but it should have gone to theater kind of style. It was good.
Well, so my movie of the year, which I there were some good movies this year. As I looked back on what I had watched this year, the series, I really had a ton. But I did a Knives Out mystery, the new one, Wake Up Dead Man, which is also a Netflix movie. I really like the Knives Out series. It's a Rian Johnson written and directed all those series. Really good. Did those like the good Star Wars movies that have come out, and I thought this one, all of the other ones have been like these romps where you're like, yeah, it's sort of this fun thing, and I'm learning about the mystery, and all the characters are really, interesting and cool, and it's sort of like a bebop through it. And this one is not. I mean, it's religious, it's like set in a church.
Yeah.
It has some very big ideas about like what church should be, what it's maybe becoming in certain aspects, how it like we could push back against that. And also one of the things that like I read a little bit about Rian Johnson and his sort of like connection with the show, and he is like not very religious, to begin with, but he was like, I always think it's interesting when you give your bad guy, or like sort of the thing that you don't believe in, like a good argument on their side, and that's what makes it interesting, right?
Yeah.
And I thought I have a quote here from one of the main like the main sort of priest who's coming up, and he's kind of the main protagonist, and they're talking because Benoit Blanc, who's the main character, is like not religious at all, and he's talking to this Christian pastor, and they're talking about storytelling, and he's like, it just seems like all storytelling that was happening back then. And here's what the pastor says. You're right. It's storytelling. The rites and the rituals, costumes, all of it. It's storytelling. I guess the question is, do these stories convince us of a lie, or do they resonate with something deep inside us that's profoundly true and we can't express in any other way except storytelling? And I was kind of like, it made me think about it, and it sort of resonated in my mind of like, I am not a religious person at all. But we went to church on Christmas, and, it's like you do something and it's sort of in how you were brought up in certain ways. And, there's power in the story that we all have together as a community in that sense. And it just gave me a different way of thinking about it. So it was a cool, fun mystery with lots of amazing characters again, but also had me thinking.
Wake Up Dead Man.
Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out mystery on Netflix.
I have watched none of those.
Yeah, they are good. I would suggest, even starting with just the very first one, I would watch all three.
Heck yeah, no, it sounds great.
Yeah.
As far as like,
yeah, do you have a series?
I had a runner-up movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I did. It was 28 years later.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, the zombie movie.
It was, and so I did watch it with my wife the other night. Yeah, last
cool.
night nonetheless.
Wow,
a little bit of it.
Like on the top
but
of your head.
I had watched a little bit of it before as well. But I thought it was a really good movie. And if you've watched the other one, it's 28 days, 28 weeks.
Yeah. There's two before.
And I think it was like about 28 years later.
That's
from
right.
when the first
That's right.
one
From
released.
the first one. Nice.
So it was a great story.
Good one. I'll have to. Kathy watches our scary movies, and then we'll let me know which ones are Wimpy Ryan appropriate for Ryan to look at. I had a couple. I liked the new Superman. I thought that was really good from this year. Mickey 17, also a fun sci-fi comic based on a really good book that I had also read. And then I also wanted to call one out. Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul came out in January of last year, and I told myself, this is a great movie. Make sure not to forget it just because it's 11 months until we get to talk about it. So those are my runner-ups.
Those are some great ones. I did have Superman on there. I said lighter tone. You know, I think from the DC universe, it did a good job. I don't know. I'm interested to see a little bit more. We'll see where that lands.
It's just that director. What is his
Gunn?
James Gunn. I'm a stan for James Gunn stuff. Like I just feel like he does a great job. They're fun. They're kinetic. Like he's not afraid to make things silly and weird and take real, important genre, characters and have him doing dumb things. And I feel like he's good.
He did a good job. My other one was Big Mouth. They
This is the series though, right? This is your series.
This is my series.
Series of 2024.
Yeah, this
or
was
2025. Yeah.
So it started well before 2025, but they did the final series release of this year.
Yeah.
And I watched the entire series, and it was great. I think they did a great job. They rushed it at the end, and I don't know if it was like a rush or they're like, yeah, we only have one last season, but they did like a big time jump, and then it was just like done. Here's a bunch of things, and I was like, man, I feel like I wish it could have gone like 2 or 3 more seasons, and they did it right, a right landing of the plane.
Right, because how many seasons did that have?
It was like 8 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna
good.
say you've been praising the name of Big Mouth for like a while now.
Yeah, it was good to see it end and
Sure.
see the thing.
And doing a nice one. Man, I had a hard time with the series. I was looking back through what series came out this year and what do we. I had a ton. I feel like last year I was really disappointed in most of the series. I went with, after much, which one am I going to choose? I went with something that is plays against type for Ryan.
Oh, really?
I went with a series called Adolescence on Netflix. And what this is a 4-episode miniseries. The episodes are an hour long. And one interesting thing about it is they are done all in one take. So the camera moves through it. It's all in real time. For each hour that happens in real time. Okay. And what the premise is it's a kid who is getting arrested and charged for murdering their classmate. And he's about 13,
okay.
A 13-year-old boy, British 13-year-old boy. And each episode is a moment in that time of it happening. So the very first one is him getting arrested, right? And it's a whole thing where they go through it, and oh my God, it will stick with me for forever.
Really?
I think. Like, just because it is so visceral to have something it's happening in real that is so different from what you normally see.
Sure.
And so it's like, what would really happen in that hour? Not cutting around and seeing B storylines. It would just be like, what is happening in that hour of your kid getting booked for this? And listening to his thing and freaking out, and the police, it being sort of a normal everyday, sort of thing for them, and the lawyer that you have to, and just understanding it all. And it was just really powerful. And, like, I have a 12-year-old son, right? And a 15-year-old son. It's a sort of about like incel sort of culture and how kids are like, like sort of almost toxic masculinity and like how that leads too far, and trusting your children and all of that. It was really, I mean, there are scenes where it's just like a father weeping for like 30 seconds, at a time. And it was visceral. Like crushingly hard to watch, but I feel like super important.
Huh. That's a good tip. Yeah. I want to see it.
It's hard, but I would say super worth it. Just something that I won't forget. Like Kathy and I watched it together, and we would have like full on hour-long conversations, like almost literally after each episode. So
we got some good chat ones. We got Welcome to Derry. So that was the It one.
Totally It one. I didn't see that. I haven't seen that yet.
I think The Pit, was that a movie?
That's a series. It's sort of a healthcare, I think, one, right? Like at a hospital.
And then Severance season 2.
Severance season 2, also good. I hadn't seen that. Kathy,
it's on Apple.
I can't. I need to get Apple because I need to see that new sci-fi one and all that stuff. Did you have any other series that you wanted to?
Not that I wanted
shout
to
out.
bring in, no.
I gotta call out a couple then, because
Sure,
Common Side Effects is on HBO. It's an animated series. It's about like a guy that finds a mushroom that can cure anyone, and sort of what that would look like if you were trying to release that in the world with a whole organization of healthcare, like trying to stop you from doing that. Right. Really, really good. Haunted Hotel is on Netflix. It's a kids show, but it's written by the same people who do Rick and Morty. So it's almost like Rick and Morty with ghosts but for, like rated T for teen. So like think about that sort of writing style and everything. Really good voice actors in it. Marvel Zombies is on HBO, I think. It's like a 5-part series. Really, really amazing, not only storytelling, but like the ability to just take every single Marvel hero that you could ever think of and throw them into a thing where they're all zombies and killing each other and ripping each other apart. And someone will just jump in for 2 seconds and you'll be like, that's an amazing character. And what is he like as a zombie? And he'll just get killed immediately. So it's super fun. And then last two, Win or Lose is on Disney Plus. It's a Pixar. So, Pixar normally does movies, obviously, that are amazing. This is a series and it's about baseball. And so I was really into it. Each episode is about a person on the team, but it tells a larger story over the 6 episodes. So you're learning about each person and sort of their angle on this really small kids youth baseball team, but then you're doing the story. And then finally, The Residents is another whodunit. It's on Netflix. It's a series. It's about the residents of the White House where the president lives, and it's a fictional thing. It's not the actual, Trump or anything like that, but it's just about like all the people that work there and make the balls and all of the stuff like go. And so you learn about all those people and the chefs and the waiters and the housekeeping and all of that. And it's really interesting to see all of those things. And it's a really fun mystery that I feel like actually lands the plane, which sometimes mysteries don't.
Ryan, you've been like media heavy.
Well,
That's
here's what happens is like I listen to podcasts about things, and so then I could sort of like hear things and be like, oh right, I think I would like that one and stuff. And then Kathy watches a lot of stuff in the background as she's doing stuff, and so she'll be editing pictures or doing whatever, and it's easy for her to watch things, and then she'll tell me about things that are good.
Those are some good hard hitting ones on there. Did you hear? Have you heard of Solar Opposites?
Yeah, it's sort of
similar to the Haunted one.
Exactly, it's a little more. It's a little more mature, But
definitely.
I watched that entire series. Your brother was big into that.
Heck yeah, he was. All right, I just was like they've spawned off a bazillion Rick and Morty kind of things.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so the next one was. One thing you wanted. Oh wait, is this section 2? Did you want to call this out as Act 2? And
yeah, we're jumping in. We're going into our interpretation, things that have basically, what mattered about this last year, or some things that for ourselves, I think it's going to be a little bit more personal.
Yeah, exactly. These will be more personal for sure. I will have some ones in there, and I'm going to let you start it off.
Oh yeah, no, this is like how we can kind of hit it from a different side. So the thing is, like, the biggest surprise of the year was like one of the first ones that we were talking about, and we're going to get into some biggest disappointments in a couple different areas here. Let's see here. Let me get into that. I'm going to wait for Ryan to come back in here. Personal moment that maybe I would remember from this year is something that I would want to get into. I think it was more not a surprise for me, but more that things started to go a lot faster. I think just my ability to see my sons getting into adulthood was a big piece. They started to drive. So it wasn't more of a surprise that it was happening, but it was more of a surprise at the acknowledgement. I'm like, holy crap, I'm at this point in life where my kids are driving and they're not going to be in the house very much longer. And so seeing things slow down for my ability to parent them like younger little kids, and now they're adults, was a big one. So Ryan, I was saying my biggest surprise was more of just how quickly things have gone with my kids.
Okay.
And so just I was, very much grounded this year, that I was appreciative of my wife and her resilience in school, and just how much like things flew by this year that I wasn't able to even acknowledge it. It was a tough year in a general sense,
right.
But the surprise was just watching everything happen so quickly and see everything grow and realize, holy crap, like I have adult kids nearly at this point.
I have that in a different part of my section, but I definitely have like being in with drivers and thinking about that in your own, life and stuff.
So yeah, what would you say? What your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise, I mean, it's a very Ryan thing. It's very personal. Like in my sense, it's just, it was a neat thing. I put the Mariners finally doing well. That's my biggest surprise. Because you will not believe, I have been a Seattle. It's not like, this is just a team. They did well this year, right? Great. Cool. They probably do well all the time and whatever, but it's not like that. The Mariners don't do well. They never do well. They never make the playoffs. They never do anything. My dad is really into the Mariners. And so when they actually made it, like where they were like 6 outs for making it to the World Series, that was a huge, amazing and cool surprise to me. I have other ones in here.
You were very excited about that.
I was just excited. It's like I watched a ton of Mariners games. My dad and I talked about it a lot. It was just, we played softball a ton this year. Baseball was a big part of my life. And so having a team that I've been rooting for since I was 10 years old make it to the playoffs for the first time since 22 years ago, it was a pretty big surprise and made my 2025 a little better.
That's awesome. That's a big one.
Do you have runners up for surprise?
I would say, because my surprise was just more of that realization of age
Yeah.
and just feeling that, hey, being that I'm 45 now and getting to that age and looking back and seeing how I'm looked at, how I look at myself and feel like I'm
Sure.
wrinkled and I'm feel young, but I'm not.
Sure.
It's-
Creaky and
yeah. Bend over, your a million things crack. You're like, oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
So and then those quiet moments of reflection. But the other one was my world surprise. It was the breakneck speed that we're trying to expand for AI. Like the data center things, the massive energy and climate kind of implications of this. It felt like last year we weren't really talking about it. And we talked about it a little bit, but it just feels like to the point where I went to a city council discussion around data centers in the local region. I was like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in
and
the
we weren't even
news.
talking about it last year.
Not at all. And just
nothing.
how quickly it was going. And I think part of the surprise also is how it jacked the prices up on a bunch of stuff like RAM recently and all the different changes of being like, hey, it's already bought out. We're just screw the consumer market. We're going a different direction. That was my biggest surprise.
Yeah, I actually had I had one on the speed of robot development. I feel like was a big surprise for me this year. I feel like it really ramped up. We really saw a lot just leapfrogging over what we had seen before. I had a good surprise. Is $500 from Mike from Extra Life. That was a big surprise for me in my life. That was a good one. Radioactive Man from comic from Adam. That was a good surprise. I clipped it as my 1 second a day of me being like, what? And pulling it apart. That was amazing. I've told multiple people about it and showed it off on meetings and Zoom meetings and all of that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah. So those are my big surprises of the year. Do you want to disappointment?
Ooh, yeah. Let's go into disappointments. Yeah, I feel like I kind of fudged the biggest surprise and disappointment this year because there wasn't something that was so over the top for me in either direction. I think it was just some of the speed in which I felt like I was trying to get things done and realizing a year just swung by so fast. I was like, hey, I had that thing I was going to do. And you're like, holy crap, I was thinking about that in March.
Right.
And now it's the next year.
Now it's 9 months later.
So I think my biggest disappointment maybe is that also along the reflection of being 45 is the comfort and cautiousness that I've gotten as in my older age. I would say not politically conservative, but conservative in certain decisions just to maintain the kind of family structure that I'm in and making sure the kids are going to have a good launch into what they do when they turn 18, which was different for me. And I think I used to feel more got to take the risk and do the thing, but it's not just me that the risk is around. I have family to consider, kids, wife, others, and around my immediate family that I got to be have some stability for. So I think just not feeling that I fully appreciated every moment that I could throughout this year or having enough time to do those. that appreciation was my biggest disappointment.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is always the one where like Adam goes like very introspective on his own life. I you know, when you talk about like disappointments in sort of a like emotional sense of like your world and everything, there are things that I regretted not doing during this year, and so those are definitely disappointments in my life, and I'll talk about those like in a little bit to it, of like, you know, there were projects that I wanted to work on and things that I almost like New Year's resolutions, right? That I did a little bit and didn't come in. Mine were a little bit more sort of worldly, I guess, or things that I've done. So my biggest one was just biggest disappointment sort of was OpenAI's like direction into the commercialization of whatever AI is. And I feel like they did a really terrible job of what I thought was sort of a company that was going to be sort of leading the way in responsible and well researched and protected AI. To me, in 2025 turned into a company that paid a lot of, or like has a lot of money out to people that they owe of trillions of dollars in infrastructure and everything, and decided we just need to put out products that make money and talk about them in a way and like plan things like you talked about ads on ChatGPT and everything. And, you know, with just even like how Sora was rolled out and just kind of the way of thinking like, man, you're just going to do another brain rot AI like social media thing. That is the biggest, you know, that is the best way that you've decided to use the entire leverage of the power that you have, was very disappointing to me. And I started to move away from ChatGPT a little bit. Like I've been doing more Gemini and Google, and you know, Google also had a thing of they're not going to be evil, right? At some point. And then where did that go? You know, as soon as they get big enough, and you just saw ChatGPT and OpenAI sort of going in that same direction, which was disappointing.
Very disappointing. And I'm going to piggyback because I did split mine. It's like personal disappointments and then world disappointments. So yes, for myself, I feel maybe reflective in wishing I could have been doing more. But the other side of it was just how we're kind of laying down as a, maybe even I'll just say the US right now, for AI in a way. It was more the disappointment of, okay, this is here. It's going to destroy everything. We're not going to really care much about the value and what it's doing to society. It's just kind of like, we're just going to keep releasing it and figure it out as we go. And I think that was my biggest thing, is it
2027 taught us, the AI 2027 taught us that was like not a great way to maybe go.
No.
Mike Azul in the chat, biggest disappointment of 2025, not nearly enough slaps during the 24-hour stream. I don't think that's true. I feel like there was plenty of slaps.
We had 2 triple slaps in a row. It was a 6th slap. We had to ban the 6th slap because it was making people feel uncomfortable.
All right. Let's see. I had other runners up for disappointment. You know, it's disappointing Mariners didn't actually make it to the World Series.
Of course.
You know, that's a little bit. Xbox Game Pass price going up.
Oh,
like, that is a
plus
pretty
1.
crappy, disappointing thing that I thought was good. I did not like the Pixar movie Elio. Like, didn't like that one. I didn't like Fantastic Four all that much. Here's a big one. The Avatar, Fire and Ash, I went and saw. Not a huge fan. I had been a staunch supporter of the Avatar movies from James Cameron, and I was like, really love that first one. I, you know, was sort of on board for that second one. I was ready to ride the roller coaster, and I got to this third one, and we all went, and I insisted that we get IMAX 3D and watched it, and it's like 3.5 hours long, and I was like, poof. No,
not good, huh?
It's the same thing. They don't do enough stuff. Like, it's still sort of the same set pieces and the same thing. Like, nothing happens. Nothing pushes the story forward in this one. And you're like, I'm sitting here for 3.5 hours. You got to push the story forward a little bit there, James. But anyway,
this is his like life's work. On
totally.
this thing.
And it was like, and he, all these interviews with him, and he's like, I can tell every story. Of course, I don't need to do any more Terminators. I don't need to do any of these other movies that like, you know, are awesome. And I could spread my wings in a different way. I could tell every story that I want to tell through Avatar. And then you're like, oh, I guess. And then you go through this movie and you're like, what stories were you trying to tell in this 3.5 hours? Yikes.
Bad.
Not that there wasn't anything good about it, but not my favorite.
Those are some
disappointments.
Some deep disappointments.
But
in your
I
media,
would say
Ryan.
a lot less disappointments than last year. I remember last year I had a whole freaking page of disappointments.
You
There
sure
was
did.
a lot of disappointing things in last year, but not so much this year. Okay, next one.
Well, so we had a couple things. If you wanted to revisit things you wanted to do but didn't this year, if there's anything that you really wanted to call out on that.
Well, there was definitely things that I didn't do this year that I wanted to do, because that was one of the questions, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Do you have those up? I don't know where those are on my thing.
Yeah, so I'll say like
You
revisiting
can
things
start.
you wanted to do but didn't. I feel like you had gotten your house recently, and I was like, hey, I might start thinking about getting a
thinking
new
about
house.
doing-
I never kicked off the conversation as much. Like Heather and I haven't really jumped
Sure.
into that boat, and it was more along, you know, people are in school, kids are still doing
Right.
their final things, and we're
Totally.
like, let's wait on
Not-
any
not
house conversation.
Fully disrupt everyone's lives for that necessarily.
So we didn't really talk about that or go in, and of course everything else around in the economy hadn't been great
Yeah,
either.
no,
So that
that's
was
true.
tough. And then just I think, yeah, the things that I didn't want to do. Maybe some of mine are more excuses. It was like I just slowed down. Like I didn't do like a lot of travel this last year. I just focused on the kids and getting them to I had a lot of fun with taking to tennis tournaments and being part of that. So it was more of a chiller year where I was like, it's probably not the best time to do a lot of travel and do all these other things. And so I feel like my motivations were a little tanked this year to like really do things going forward.
Yeah. So I can't find it in my notes. I think the page misprinted. Like, look how this is so
yeah,
weird up
you
here.
did.
And then there's just like a single page with part of it
Do you need
done.
me to print out a
No,
page
it's
for
fine.
you, Ryan?
I remember. You're like, especially when you have indelled in your brain, what things didn't you do over this last
Yeah.
year? Believe me, those are right at the top of my mind. My wife and I had this super cool idea to do this craft project with laser cutting. I think I told you about
yeah,
this,
I
and
do
we've been
remember.
talking about this, and it becomes the same thing that happens every time. Like, the digital stuff I'm great at. Like, I have designs for the thing. I have all this stuff, and it's just like the Half Pint Heroes thing. When I get to the physical world, you know, I get stuck. I don't have very much like experience in doing sort of things, you know, sewing things together or laser printing, you know, things out and using a big giant machine that I've never done before. And it's at a separate place. And so we did some and we got some hang-ups, and then it just sort of fizzled out. And so I put it on my thing of like revisiting and doing this year, because all the pieces are still in place. I still want to
Got
do
it
it.
all.
I have all the stuff. I just need to like figure out the actual laser engraving. And then the bad part of Ryan. Here's the part of Ryan that I feel like is an Adam part, perhaps, where I go like, well, the reason that you're not doing it is because you don't have your own laser engraver at the house, and that's what you should be really investing in. Then you would do it. But what I don't want to do is I dislike the idea that you're like, I'm going to force myself to do something by buying a thing.
Yeah.
Because then that doesn't work. You know, I have a rowing machine, you know, at my house, and I didn't start rowing on my machine just because I bought an expensive rower. But anyway, that was the thing.
Maybe I need the laser cutter and I'll help you
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
I'm the
nice.
laser.
All right,
Is that your
Adam,
thing?
get a laser cutter and figure it out.
My son has been doing laser cutting of wood. Is
Yeah,
that
well,
what
it's
this
like
is?
thin. It's like super
Yeah.
thin wood. I know.
He's been taking cabinet making and all these other kind of like these courses.
Well, see, because the problem is it's sort of like 3D printing, that you need to cut out a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
and then try it, right? And then be
Yep.
like, no, I got to adjust this, and then cut it out again and try it. And like it being away from the house, and I have to go, and then it doesn't work, and then I have to come back and do it. It's like, it's a pain in the butt. And so I can't do that sort of trial and error that I need at the beginning of the project to like make it look cool. And
it
do
sounds like
well.
you do need a laser cutter.
It
sir.
is.
All
I know,
right.
I know. Exactly. So anyway, Other things, I'm disappointed in myself that we didn't work more on the Game Boy game.
I said that same thing.
That's a thing I regret doing.
But I thought of that and I said, we traded doing the game for more of this like podcast version of it, which actually I've been having such an enjoyable time. I've learned so much.
It would be different if we had abandoned it for just nothing, right?
nothing.
Like if you were just like, we just did the show and now we just, work less on it. But I feel like we just put the effort into the, the research and the stuff of doing the podcast, which started in about March.
Yeah.
And
it's been great. I love the stories. I love the format. Yeah. We're tuning in and it's
exactly. Good. So we'll have to talk about this at the end of where we want to see Double
So biggest story in tech this year that you were able to pull out. Do you have a big story? Like how did we start to see things come together?
I put the biggest story in tech was AI killing entry level and junior level tech jobs. And I feel like that is sort of the tip of the iceberg, if I were to say, of kind of like where we see things coming in the future. And really also just made me really nervous about, hey, if this doesn't affect me at the head of this company, sure, it's letting interns and we don't have to hire. Great. We could save more money and not have to do it. It feels like really short-sighted. And man, I just feel like it's going to be a bigger one going forward. And yeah, I feel like that was of all the things that were happening in AI, I feel like that was the sort of biggest one that hit people in real life, was losing those entry-level tech jobs.
I think I'm gonna +1 that. I'm gonna say maybe just jobs in general was my biggest story, is that it's really changing the way that we think about how we're gonna move forward. And so I inferred from this that AI has crossed the line of broad acceptance, is how I wrote this. So it's no longer this like novelty. It's no longer like, hey, is AI going to be the thing? It's shifted from, hey, does it work, to how are we going to live with this now? How are we going to integrate it into everything we do? I think, we went from drum rolls for images to like, give me an image.
Yeah, doing hundreds of images every day, or like dozens of images all the time.
And so I felt like that was the big change, the big story, is that it moved to, we're just going to buy a bazillion data centers moving forward. And no one's questioning if AI should even really be a thing anymore. It's just like, how are we going to contend with this?
And, to be honest, it's built into a ton of the products that I use, and I use it as just a piece of those products all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Like I go into Photoshop and I'm like, yep, I got this image and this stock image and I need a bunch of images like that, and then like, great, make me a bunch of them. And it just becomes part of the workflow. And that's exactly what happened this year. That was definitely not happening the year before.
No. And so it's like, still has the regulation questions.
Yeah.
We got into psychological impact. We got into the impact that it has with just like labor or even values in general, psychosis we talked about.
Yeah.
So the concept now that it's beyond just being like accepted, it's here. That's a huge story to me.
I had my only runner up for this was the biggest story in tech year was AR glasses. And I just thought like they're having a comeback. Like the 2025 was the year of like multiple big tech companies released AR glasses. I don't know how necessarily like popular they were or if that is a thing. I feel like you see them sort of in the zeitgeist, no matter how much technology companies are sort of advertising them and pushing them. But I do think, everyone decided, hey, you know what? Actually, even after all this R&D, the best thing is to just put some augmented reality glasses on your face. And I agree with them because, that's the best way to do it. And then, the processor's small enough, battery's small enough. That's where we're going before we get the contacts.
We talked about this just like that.
We
thought AR was the thing. So coolest or most meaningful AI story?
I went with most meaningful. But okay, what did you do?
Go ahead.
The only thing, so the one that I did, you touched on it just in this little bit of like biggest tech story of the year, was I put the most common use cases for AI in 2025 weren't coding or writing. They were therapy, companionship, and meaning making. And I feel like that encompasses the idea of sort of like, where we talked about AI psychosis and all of that. I feel like the biggest or like the most influential one is just, man, people are not just using this as some kind of little tool to help them, work in Excel. Like, they are using it as a confidant. They are using it as a psychiatrist. They are using it to ask questions about what they should do at work and with their kids and all of that. And it just made me think, like, wow, we went real quickly into using this as a tool to help you write marketing emails to saying this is, some people saying this is my best friend. And, that is a thing that human beings do. And I feel like are we as human beings ready for that? I don't think so. And wow, we're just plowing ahead with it. So scary.
It's interesting, and clearly we have these shows together. We have similar kind of thoughts. Yeah. But I was saying it's not a tech demo anymore. It's starting to show up with some sort of agency, if you will, in the physical world, as far as the robotics, the automations, the agentic kind of AI, the convergence of those things coming together was the biggest story for me. So that we're starting, it's not just Gen AI and like images and whatnot. It's starting to be integrated in things like a guy got himself kicked in his nuts earlier in the show. But if you think about it, and you start, like, there was Robot Olympics, there's like huge robotic AI integrated kind of things that you hadn't seen before. You'd always look at the Iron Man movies, and they'd have the big world fairs, and they'd have like a bunch of like Iron Men, and you're like, that doesn't happen. And then you watch it and you're like, holy crap, China's having this huge thing, and there's a crap ton of like these robots running around.
Yeah.
And so I think the idea that we're starting to see, we're getting closer to this. There was a couple AI robots that clean houses. They fold like cloths and do laundry.
Yep.
So we're starting to see it surpass this just on the computer 2D. It's definitely physically in our worlds.
Yeah, like what was that called? Agentic. I can't remember, but it's like taking AI and making it real in a robot. I feel like that was the change that we saw this year, and man, has it accelerated that stuff like a ton.
100%.
Okay, I didn't have any runners up for this one.
No.
Coolest meaningful story.
Well, and we're looking at the time. We have a whole section 3 to get through. So I think what we need to do is we'll land the plane on this part. So one trend narrative that felt overhyped or misunderstood this year.
I only had one. I said AI video. I was like overhyped. Yes, there are some things that came out for certain videos, like of French revolutions. But I said, for the most part, like, I don't think it revolutionized anything. I feel like it's sort of very niche still, and no matter how much everyone talked it up, I don't know how great it was necessarily.
So I went a completely different direction, and I thought the overhyped trend was
6'7". I love that trend.
Ugh,
I love it.
So I did some research. You know where it originated from?
Yeah, it was like a rapper that did something.
But then Mello was 6'7" as his number, and they were always 6'7". Then it became basketball. Yeah, it was not a great trend.
No, I like that. It's like I will argue against. I will argue for 6'7" in just the sense that like. Yes, it's a dumb thing that means nothing. That is where we are in society. Like, it doesn't need to mean anything. Like, I would rather it mean something than Haktua, Like,
that's at least you get something for that.
But but at least that is something, I liked it because it just sort of it's something that happens occasionally. You could call it out as a fun thing. There's some memes for it. There are much worse
I don't know.
brain rot memes than 6'7".
6'7" was one of the ones that I wasn't in. But I did learn some things from my kids. So like Unk. That's a word? Unk? That means you're old, right?
My 12-year-old put Unk as his name at bowling last night.
So, I mean, I don't even know what the words are, but Unk is one of them. That was my favorite one.
You taught me ball right?
Ball right.
Yeah, okay. We don't have to say it like, you're a dragon. But
that's how they say it. That's how you're
it's like...
Ball right.
I do like how you say it. It's fun though. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's how everyone says it, but I'm gonna allow it just because it's fun. All right, next one. So Act 3.
I think this is good. This is into the future, and what's fun about this section is let's take a quick look back at what our predictions. Last year
okay. Well, let's do the first one. So we'll just do it as we go, right?
Yeah. Last year We made some predictions. Do you remember last year what was like accurate or then what was terribly wrong?
Yeah. Okay. So we do safe predictions. We typically do a couple safe predictions and then a couple wild predictions for 2026. And so let's see. I'll do. Do you have yours? I'll do one of my safe predictions for last year.
Go for it.
Okay. So last year I said VR gives way to AR and simple wearables. VR headsets continue to fail at finding a true killer app, and so they abandoned them for lighter AR solutions, glasses, HUD overlays, and stuff. I feel like that was, pretty good.
We did good.
But there was VR goggle, stuff like Steam announced things that came out, and Meta did more VR. So I don't know if it's just sort of mixed in there. But anyway, okay. Do you have one of yours? Let's see. Adam, safe predictions.
Yeah. So I had a couple of them. Mine were really along like AI driven NPCs was one of the ones that
in video games. I feel like they like danced around the edges of that a little bit, but I feel like AI in video games is still sort of like AI in art. It's sort of it's a third rail.
Yeah, I did some research on it, and it was like there was a lot of prototypes. There were some experiments, but it didn't get integrated into games to the level that we did.
Do you have another safe one?
Yeah, the other one that I thought was good, though, is that cloud-based gaming continues to rise was one of mine, which it absolutely became the thing.
I played Killer Obscura entirely on a cloud thing. I just went, great, download this. It worked perfectly, played amazingly. And then at some point, it just went like, hey, do you want to download this game? Because it feels like you're playing it a lot. And I went, sure. And it downloaded in 2 minutes and I was done. I was like, great.
And they're looking at systems that aren't even disc-based anymore. There's not really disc you can buy. Did you see there's a little thing that goes around your phone that is it's almost like a perfect Xbox controller.
Right.
So you can play the Xbox on your phone through cloud streaming.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nice. Like it is getting to, and then they'd raise the rates because they know they're going to do that. Exactly.
Okay. I had a safe prediction. GTA 6 does not release in 2025. Rockstar again better integrate AI driven systems. The game exists, but it won't blow people's socks off. So they push it back.
Oh,
tell me I didn't nail that one. Of course, these are safe predictions.
They were the safe ones.
They definitely did. All right, wild predictions of last year. I see the first bipedal robot appears in the wild. I did not see a bipedal robot this year, unfortunately. So I didn't get that one. I thought I would see one at like,
but that was a wild
Walmart or something or whatever. I thought I would see somewhere something a bipedal robot, but no.
All right, my wild prediction, which I feel like kind of did go, is like deep emotional relationships with AI escalate.
100%. I feel like you nailed that one like right on the head. I feel like that we just talked about that. It was one of the biggest stories of the whole year.
It was.
So good job. Okay, I had AI art becomes more normalized and the stigma fades. Oof. And I would say that did not happen.
No.
For the most part, that did not. The only way that it happened even a tiny bit is that AI got better and made some of it so that you can't even tell. But for the most part, if people could tell, they were pissed for the most part. So
it wasn't good.
I would say that one, I did not get that one. Did you have any other wild predictions?
I only had one other, and I think it was, it was that the personal offline AI companions would be a thing, which it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen yet.
You need the big, large language model and the orchestration and all that crap. Like, I thought people would fight against it and be like, no, I need my own that keeps my own data. Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that. Okay, should we do our
Let's
predictions?
jump in. Next year, this is where we're headed. So what are we looking forward to this next year?
Safe prediction.
Well, do we want to talk about what we're looking forward to?
Oh, do you want to do, or you don't want to do your safe prediction? You want to do your wild predictions? I feel like we were just talking about that,
sure.
so maybe we
safe
could just
predictions.
Okay, so I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do my main big one, and then I'll have some runners up. My big safe prediction is the foldable iPhone comes out this year, and it's the big hit that Apple has been needing.
Ooh.
I'm usually an Apple hater, like not a hater, but just sort of like, I just feel like after Steve Jobs, they just sort of went steadily down. And I was like, man, they haven't had, their new Screen, like OS is not, that didn't hit real big. That sort of very thin iPhone. But I feel like you put out a thin thing when you want to fold it together. And I feel like there's been enough foldable phones that they sort of maybe figured out a lot of that. And so they'll put out a very premium thing that'll cost like $2,000, but they'll do it in a super slick way that will make people be like, oh, Apple's back, and they'll sell a ton of them, and all the, one percenters and influencers will have them, and it'll be a whole big thing.
And they'll carry them around in a sock.
Yeah, and
it
costs
$250
sock around your, shoulder.
Are they in the foldable market right now?
They're not. So they haven't done anything. They haven't even announced this yet, but most people think that is coming.
As a side note, they only produced 45,000 headset things for their Vision Pro. That was a complete fail.
Yeah, that was my prediction last year. That it would fail this. It did, and it totally did.
They cut 95% of the budget on that.
It's like that.
I like the chat. They said Half-Life 3 before GTA 6.
Yeah, man. All right, throw your bets down on the table. What are the odds on Half-Life 3? No, GTA 6 before Half-Life 3. 100%.
We'll see. Steambox comes out. All right, here's my safe prediction. Which unfortunately is the bad one. But we're gonna see the continued rapid is the keyword AI experimentation. And so I'm gonna take my second use
how are we gonna judge this, Adam, if you got this right or not? Of course there's gonna be rapid
because I got some details here.
Okay,
it's gonna be so we're gonna continue the fuck around and find out phase. I'm sorry I'm using this second because I
rated our podcast.
I scripted it in here to say that, so I was gonna try to use it for the day because I
could have just said FAFO. People know what that means.
So FAFO'd this thing, but I think that here's the prediction is that we're going to increase our reliance on AI systems. Yep. And so you're going to get some failures in health issues, workplace mistakes, and then we're going to have some real life accidents that are going to happen because of AI specifically. And so that it's going to continue to strain our mental and emotional states. So that is my specific things that we're going to see.
How would you say, what news story would need to come up for you to be like, yep, see, that's happening?
Well, because we're going to have enough time now that we're going to say, hey, it wasn't really a good idea to have a therapist that's an AI for you out there. Right. Or maybe we shouldn't have thought that we could replace your specific position with this AI kind of bot. And now it created this major.
So you're saying, is it going to be like a thing where they let an AI be in charge of the dam operation, and then the dam, exploded or let out water at the wrong time?
They're gonna, so it's either gonna be a catastrophe, there's gonna be a business that closes because AI did something deleted their application in a crazy way, not some niche thing, some big chunk of something or some data leak that happens.
All right, that's a good one. Did you have any? I have a couple runners up of things, simple stuff. I'll just say AI agents still need 2026 to cook some more. I feel like we sort of got agents, and maybe they're being used at really sort of high levels of the orchestra. But I don't know if I necessarily in my specific thing thought, oh, great, I'm just going to send agents out to do things on my behalf and have them come back hours later. I don't think it was working like that in 2025. And I still think it'll need a little bit of that to cook. I'm going to say more layoffs from AI, and companies are then compelled to share data on how AI is affecting jobs. And I think this will almost certainly come from Europe or something like that, right? Regulation that says all these jobs are going away. Giant companies, you can't just keep cutting all of these jobs and making more and more money. And we have to know so we'll be at the research phase of this where we go, hey, we have to get a bunch of data. So then at some point we can make decisions and policy on it.
It makes a lot of sense. Bernie Sanders recently talked about, he's like, you're taking all these jobs. We got to figure out something about universal income, because if we can't make money because there's nothing out there, what are we going to do?
Mike Azul in the chat, GDPR for AI. It's absolutely true. 100%. It's we're just going to have to figure that stuff out and say hey, you're not allowed to cut a certain amount of jobs, or you have to include these certain things. I mean, it's going to have to be regulation, because if you leave it up to capitalism, it'll just be AI all the way down.
Okay, I didn't have any runners up.
Okay. That was it. That was it for my runners up. Okay. Wild predictions. These are the crazier types of. Stop looking at my answers, Adam, to see if I see. Do I have to cover up here?
How do you know I was looking at your answers?
Because I know where I
did look.
I can watch you on the TV right here.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, your wild prediction for 2026.
So I did try to be as wild as possible.
All right,
as this, okay?
great.
So I did go wild.
It's apocalypse.
Here it is. I think, here's my wild prediction of 2026. One AI-powered robot crosses into actual pop culture. So there's not going to be this novelty demo, but there's going to be something that people recognize and they follow. And it's not going to necessarily be as interesting on the hardware side of it, but it's more like what it's going to trigger in the conversation of like, is that a person? Is that a thing? And there's going to be a debate about it. And so it's going to be like a famous AI robot that we start to see in 2026. And so it's recognized for some sort of a public appearance or something that it does.
Is it bipedal?
I didn't get to that prediction, but it is going to be a robot that has some sort of like function that can move autonomously or at least controlled and have an AI that controls a lot of what it says.
Okay. That was very close to my runner up, actually.
Oh, really?
Wild prediction.
Nice.
My wild prediction is a city in America starts 3D printing low income housing at scale, and they do it themselves. Like, we said, hey, somebody can go buy one of these 3D printers. A city goes, we need low income housing. We're going to buy land and we're going to just start printing either small house, like little mini houses, or we're going to start printing apartment buildings. And some place is going to say, we're going to do low income housing for people and we're going to do it at scale with 3D printing. I feel like we've gotten to that point, and maybe we start seeing some of that because we're sort of getting pushed to the limit here on housing, and it can only go so bad and only be so much. And I feel like some tech forward city is going to try it.
That's a good wild one. I like that you went with the theme of 3D printing.
Yeah,
a lot of 3D printing stories lately.
Right, exactly. And I feel like we keep seeing it, and I feel like we're just going to get to a point where it becomes feasible and the technology is good enough that it'll be cheap enough to do it in a way that like you can keep stuff affordable. So I don't know. I think someone will try it. All right. Do you have runners up for wild predictions?
I was nailed in on
you just went
one.
Home. My only other one was basically your main one. I said one of the home helper robots is a legit hit, and I said, but it doesn't have two legs. And so I either think, like, did you see, I put a link in there's links in here.
Yeah.
We didn't do those, but like I had a link, and there's Apple, and they had a robot that is sort of like the lamp from the Pixar like thing. And it's sort of just an eye with a cone on an arm. And it does things that sort of, so let's say, so they had an example and they were like, if I ask it, hey, what's the temperature outside? It sort of goes and it looks at the window for a second and it kind of like does it. And then it sort of swivels back and it's like, oh, it's, 48 degrees. Or if you're working with something, it'll sort of move around and look at it, or it'll get shocked by things if there's like a loud noise and it does stuff. And I was like, man, how cool would it be if you had some like Flight of the Navigator shit happening where there's like an arm on a thing and it just does what a normal,
oh my God,
like it just does what a normal countertop, hey Google, like type thing does, and gives you answers about stuff, but it has a little bit of like physical personality with it. And I was like, man, that thing could go off, that could be off the chain with people buying that thing. I could totally see it.
The next big hit. Your prediction is that it's like a mass produced.
It's 100% mass produced. It doesn't do anything else except for have personality and act like a countertop smart speaker. It's like a smart speaker with personality, basically, is what I think it is. And I think that could be a huge hit, even if it doesn't fold your laundry.
Yeah, I feel like we're close. We'll see how close we get with that. That's a good one, though. That's a good call out. I like the chat. Not a Siri bot. Order DoorDash when he asks for the weather. Classic. All right, let's get to the last couple here, Ryan. So,
Okay.
trend you see increasing
Okay.
or decreasing?
Yeah. So I did one of each.
Yep,
Did you
I
did you want to go, or you want me to
Go
do
for
one?
it.
I did the one trend that I see increasing is AI wearables. And I feel like they've been mostly sucky so far, if I had to be blunt. Like, we had pendants and we had little necklaces and we even had some glasses and stuff like that. I don't think anybody's figured out. I don't think Johnny Ives over at Little ChatGPT, and OpenAI has figured out any of that stuff. I just don't think we have done it, but they are going to keep pushing forward. If they lose money hand over fist, they don't care, because the person who hits it and gets that thing that can record you constantly. I wrote, just to harvest data is the reason that they care about it. They don't care. They don't care about any of the stuff. They don't care about the hardware. They just want to be able to get as much information about you and your life and what you talk about and who you talk about and what's important to you, because that's what makes the AI interesting and good and not just the generic crap, right? If it knows everything about me and knows what I've been talking about and knowing all those things and hearing all of my conversations and knowing where I go and connecting that all together, that is the gold mine of all of this, right? And that's how you make an AI that really is useful and cool and also, very, very scary.
Super scary.
But like, they are going to keep pumping those things out until they just hit it by randomness, I feel like, because no one has come up with anything
Think about
better.
everyone wearing one, or even just a huge chunk of the population. You're like
Right.
walking through somewhere and your voice gets picked up by these things. It's
100%.
like they're just going to be everywhere, and it's going to be
And they're going to have
insane.
enough money, and they're going to have a Trump administration, and people are going to go like, you can't just be recording things all the time. I am out in public all the time. Like, you can't just be recording me and using my face and using my voice and all the conversations that I have. And if I had to guess, the Supreme Court is going to go, no, that's fine.
I think you're onto something there, and so I'm gonna go with the trend that I see increasing is a little different than that, because I think that was like a product trend and like getting more on the wearable side, so similar. But I think we're gonna see a paradox, and we saw it this last year, is that more grind culture is going to happen. We're going to work hard to stay competitive. If jobs are really that hard, there's going to be rising expectations due to AI because of this. We're just going to have these, what I called AI amplified expectations as we push forward. But at the same time, we're going to have this like stronger hunger for human made work, that we get into this like arts, crafts, physical things, going out and doing things, so that it has a more human part to it. We're going to get so like, don't want to see that AI crap anymore. So we're going to have a lot of people that are grinding for that, but then the free time and the time that they're out, they're going to be doing more of the physical human things.
I hope that is the case. I hope so. I love that. Like, I do think so. You were saying like basically going forward with that kind of stuff. Like, I think I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you had a good thought there.
Dang it, I had
it
it.
was cooking.
I was bringing it up. I'll remember it later.
He's going to bring it back.
Do you
Decreasing. Unless you had anything in.
I had a runner up for in trend that's increasing. It was smaller and smaller teams building more popular software, social media platforms, etc. I just think that like you will have AI to help you, and you won't need a giant team. You not even a giant team of 50, 60, 70. I think you'll do it with 2, 3, 4, and they will make things that are so popular that they will take over. Stuff that was built by larger teams. And so I feel like you can do that now. Oh, I remembered your thing. If you have AI on your side and you're always doing it, with the thing that I'm nervous about with AI, and you're talking about having a hustle culture, is I feel like they keep talking about like, what does jobs look like in the future? And you're like, man, do jobs look like you jumping from organization to organization all the time and being this like free floating thing that learns new positions and does all of that? Man, that is going to be exhausting.
It is,
like
yeah.
doing that, right? And so it's like, yeah, that'll be great for the companies that you're doing, but you're going to get burned out even faster than you're doing right now, that with a steady job that at least is in with one place with one set of expectations. Scary.
we used to be all AI hyped.
I
and
know.
Now we're like
now
down with
because
AI.
because we know.
All right, let's wrap this up. So
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
'cause,
say some
we gotta
Drawful
play some
anime.
Drawful.
If you're out there, get ready because we're gonna be playing some Drawful soon here. If you're with us live tonight. But to close out on some of the things on the decreasing, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about double drop down direction. Is one thing that I see decreasing, and this is unfortunate, is that I think we're going to be so exhausted with like verifying things that we're going to let it slip. And so as AI starts to replicate and create things, we're either going to be completely like everything's AI and not trust anything, or there's not going to be this follow up on like, hey, is that thing truly a real thing? And so there's going to be a lot more ambiguous, not real kind of things that are introduced into our lives.
I could absolutely see that.
So I call it verification fatigue. We're going to see less people double checking their sources because they're going to go to that. They're going to trust what the oracle of AI tells them, and that's where we're going to.
It stinks because if it tells you at 95% of the time right, you're just going to start trusting it all the time.
100%.
The only trend that I had to see decreasing was I think AI video. Unless it starts getting, I think it's a trend that seems neat and maybe could be useful in the sense of same thing like Midjourney and image producing was neat, and now it sort of is built into a larger thing. I still feel like it's probably going to decrease just because people are going to have visceral things against it at some point, and it's just going to be such a bad thing for society that I feel like we're always going to be sort of rebelling against it. So I think it's going to decrease.
I agree. I think it's like a tool inside of some of the workflows that are happening, but I don't think it like outwardly is creating full on.
Totally. I think
video.
you're absolutely right. It's going to be a tool built into Premiere or whatever, but it's not going to be the social media gangbuster they think.
Do you know what it reminds me of is like what filters were in Photoshop.
Right,
You were
exactly.
like, how cool is it when you can put this on there? And then you were
sepia
like,
tone.
oh.
And then after a while you're like, eh.
You didn't use it to replace that one character and put this in their arms? Ugh.
Exactly.
All right, we're down to double drop down, right?
Well, I mean,
did
did
you
you want to? Was there things you wanted to do for 2026 like you were looking forward to in 2026? Like, like movies or
Or
things?
I do have some things.
Like, is there a game or movie that the games or movies that you're looking forward to?
Yes. Okay, so Dune Messiah.
Yeah, dude, I knew as soon as I saw that coming up next year, you were going to be into that.
Oh yeah. So I do have anticipation for Witcher 4, but I can't even talk about it because it's not going to probably be out until 2028.
Exactly.
The other movie I was excited was for Send Help.
I haven't heard of that.
one?
No.
Sam Raimi.
Hey,
From
your
Evil
boy.
Dead.
Yeah.
So it is a stranded on an island like Castaway mixed with misery because there's this really jerk boss that's like being a jerk to this like secretary, and their plane crashes, and now they're on this like island and there are only two left, and it has this whole creepy vibe where she's like basically now the one running the show.
Oh man,
Send
nice.
Help looks good.
All right, cool. I put Project Hail Mary. People mentioned that in the chat. Gosh, Adam, I'm going to keep bugging you. Please listen to the audiobook or read that book before the movie comes out so we can have a discussion about it.
All
I
right.
would love to have because I am very teetering on the edge of whether I think this is going to be a good adaptation or a bad adaptation. I don't know if I'm going to be hate watching it or love watching it. So like we will see. But I also had runners up as The Odyssey, which I think is going to be really good. I think that'll be really cool. And then Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg, which is sort of like the day that we learn aliens are real. And it's,
Ooh, that one was a good one.
Yeah, Disclosure Day. Like I thought
I
that
think
was
the
a good
name is
one.
dumb.
Yeah, well,
Do you know what
that's an internet thing.
You know what it reminds me of though, as far as the advertising for that, just subtly, is Independence Day.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
It has that kind of vibe for it.
That kind of vibe. All right, what about series? Did you have a series that you were looking forward to?
Just continuing the Fallout series.
Yeah. Have you been watching it?
I
Have you
did.
been watching?
I
Yeah.
did. They were pretty good.
I'm not caught up. This week's I haven't seen.
Yeah, I have to see this week's.
But I'm two in at least. Yeah,
And
still good.
It bridges into this year. I think
It
it's
does.
Good.
I don't know if it's necessarily as good as the first season is starting out, but you give it a little bit. I'm excited for that. I put that on here. My one, The Three Body Problem, is a sci-fi series, Netflix, I think. And that was the book I could not get into. I didn't even read all the way through it. I got about halfway through and I didn't like that. And I was like, man. And when I watched the series, I thought the series was better than the book. So I'm excited for that. Runners up, I have Scrubs. I was a huge Scrubs fan.
Yeah.
And they're doing a Scrubs reboot, which I think is fun.
Ooh.
Ted Lasso is coming back. And then I still like Harry Potter. I mean, I know you can dislike the artist and not, dismiss the art. So I'm into the new Harry Potter season. I think that could be fun. A new technology to show the Harry Potter world, I think could be super cool.
It would be interesting. I think it's good.
Okay. Do you have any series or runners up?
I didn't, as far as that's concerned. I did from a tech perspective.
The tech. Yeah.
Steambox.
Steambox.
I'm actually kind of interested. I might want to get a Steambox.
Nice.
Is one of my techs that I'm excited to hear more about. Half-Life 3 comes out. And the other thing is that I've been really wanting to build a new computer desktop for the stream and getting into some new tech. So I was excited about this as a creative pursuit or technology to get. We'll see how this works if our RAM prices stay as high as they do.
Exactly. Oh man, the only thing I had for tech was fun robots. I feel like I'm always looking for the fun ones. I want to see the Disney ones. I want to see the ones with personality. Yes, you can have functional robots, but I want to see the ones that are there to entertain me.
It's not after dark yet, so I'm going to hold my comments.
Yeah. those style of entertainment robots. All right. I guess, we had personal and creative pursuits, but
I think that kind of mine goes into
100%.
Double Drop Down. So
Totally.
It's always fun for us to talk about what we're going to do in Double Drop Down, and then we're going to play some more Drawful right after this if you want to play around with us.
Yeah, and I think the Double Drop Downs, I don't know how much you had. I didn't have very much, but I was just
I have just a couple
me too.
things that I'd like to hit on is that I really want to do more marketing, not advertising, marketing.
Right.
Just the idea that I think we could put some fun videos out there, have some fun in between sessions out, and maybe do a video or two that we're putting for some shorts.
Right.
I would really love to do a little bit more of that, what I would want to focus on, just short-term video, and then maybe experimenting with multi-stream platforms. And just
do
build
YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Just want to do a little bit more reach out there, get some more feedback, get some more chitty chats out there. And those that have been with us at this point would be our super chats. They would be the ones in the special chat. So of course, we appreciate y'all.
The only thing that I had was that I feel like what happens is we do a lot of plans, but then life happens, right? And then you can't do some things, or other stuff comes in front of it. I always feel like I do much better if I have working sessions. And so I was man, maybe a once a month where Adam and I just get online and maybe we're just working on things separately, but it's a set aside time to do something where I have accountability and that there's someone there and I can ask them questions and, we can go back and forth, and I feel like we could make faster progress if we had that. And if I do something like that, I'm more motivated to do it in the in-between times, when you're not there, just because we're the ball's already rolling. So that was my only thing.
I love it. I think we could do that.
It was more like not what are we going to do? What are we going to do is up in the air, whatever we feel like is the most fun, but the actual doing of it, planning around that feels, that would be good.
So we had two other questions for this one. One was funny. What are we doubling down on? And so I would just say that I think, continuing with the podcast format is one thing that I think we continue to invest in. So hopefully that has been successful, and you've been liking the content. And so just getting that locked in so that we have a really clean, good show. I think it's been fun. The research behind it, maybe that can work into the working session. So double down on those podcast kind of concept, topic focused episodes and little mini series.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice.
I would still love to bring in the occasional guest.
Right.
I think that would be a great one. And just keeping this momentum we've had.
Yeah.
You know, we have been doing this consistently for 3 years, so
Totally.
I enjoy the time and I enjoy the topics.
Yeah, and I had one of like get at least 2 guests
Yeah.
the next year. Like even if you had one and I had one and we talked to them at some point during it. I also had things to continue. The Extra Life stream. I feel
Yes.
like that is a big one. I feel like I'm more motivated towards that. I've been doing more. I signed up for more volunteering things at the beginning of the year. I feel like I want to try to do more of that. It feels good in my life, and so I want to keep double down.
Double down.
Double drop downing on that.
Double drop downing on it. That's the new word. Last one was just like, what are we intentionally doing less of? And so my thought was that tighter creative loops. So more of these sprints and stories that we've been doing, and then less of the big, long, drawn out projects that could take over. Like, I think we should still do those, but that shouldn't be the frontliner.
Right. Okay.
All the work that we've been doing up to this point.
The only thing I had for doing less of was like, probably the newsletter, because I hadn't done that in a little bit. And I was like, if we're not going to be, done on that doesn't seem like a worthwhile thing to do. But I think also just trying to do less of planning and more doing.
Planning.
and that's where I was like trying to do more of like the working session. That's where the working session.
I would love to do the working. I think it would feed into that. It's a good call out. This has been a good prediction and fun things. Like, I love that we hit on some marks last year versus not.
I feel
really
like
good.
we were in there, and it'll be fun to try and see where our predictions land next year. It's always good.
We appreciate you being with us all this year. I mean, a full year of having you show up every 2 weeks. Like, it is because of you that drives the work that we do. Totally. Ryan and I enjoy our time doing this. I love that we don't even I remember back in the day we would be all cheesed that we were podcasting. Remember that? Now we're just like, let's get into this.
Get into it.
We have a lot to talk about tonight, and it's been fun. The format's been locked. I think it would be nice to tweak that up and get a little bit more of the Twitch setup as well.
That's true.
So some of the fun things.
I think that would be good.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and I just always unplug you.
You always unplug me.
It's because it's in a weird place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Drawful Animate. It should be like quick. So
okay.
Here we go.
Okay. So do I not need to tell a story, or it's gonna be that quick?
Yeah, it'll be that fast.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna let Adam do that, and I'm gonna grab myself a drink, and I'm gonna unplug this from here. And I'll be right in there to play our new game.
We are going to play the game. So we're in the studio now. We're going to play Drawful Animate. If you've never played it, I haven't played it actually. Apparently, you have some animation capabilities in this one. So let's just jump right into it. Or no, I can't even mess around. And we'll see what this looks like. You get to see me log in. I bought this fresh for y'all right before the episode. Jackbox 8 on the resume. Here we go. So, Drawful Animate, you're going to learn with us. We'll figure out what this is all about.
Yeah, we have not played this, actually, so.
All right. Are you ready for this, Ryan?
No.
All right. Let's see what we can do. Man, I should have, like, a shortcut for this.
I know, right? I just type Jackbox into the Google every time.
Got Stealth Mouse in the game. JVCJ.
Drivers.
I'm in.
Oh, you see, nice. You get the onion skin.
Ooh. It tells you how to play it. Cool.
There is no eraser.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
You have 3 colors though.
That's good.
Each player has a different set of colors, and there is no eraser. They definitely say that. When both frames are done, tap the submit button. I think that not having a eraser in there is probably a great idea.
Yeah, especially if you're drawing 2 frames for everything.
Oh man. Oh, you get to animate yourself. I love this. All right, this is a test, fam. Can we do this? This is really fun. It's like it's Drawful.
It's just like a separate. It's like another layer.
Oh man. Oh wait, I do see the onion skin. This is good. This is
Yeah.
a fun little thing. Oh god. I wonder how much time it's gonna give us.
I know, because you could really spend a while, huh?
Oh man. I feel like I'm gonna get better at this. This is gonna be this is gonna be the first time we do
This is
this.
the first time we do it, you know, no judgment. I was an animation major, so the double middle fingers and like jumping up into the air.
I love
Good.
this. Oh my god, this is fun. All right, who's got the
No,
VIP?
he Higley.
He Higley should be out there. I'm excited for this one. I got to be honest with you. I think Heather's the VIP.
Yeah. Do we want to? I don't know. Do we want to move ahead or do we want to
It's
wait?
10:30, so
Yeah, that's true. All right.
let's get her started.
Get it started.
We got 4 of us.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is ... Drawful Animate. If you always wanted to be an artist, here's your chance to show everyone why it didn't work out. We're playing 2 rounds. Let's party.
2 rounds. All right.
2 rounds.
By now, you should have a prompt on your device. It might sound a little funky, like Fish Head Sandwich or Richard's Uncontrollable Gas. Draw an animation on your device that fits the title. When you've finished, hit Submit. The more players that guess your correct title, the more points you'll get. Good luck. It's never too late to join the audience. Go to jackbox.tv and enter the room code.
You have 3 minutes to do this? Okay. Oh my god, I'm doing so bad.
Oh, God, and there's no eraser.
There's-
I hate you.
Oh my god.
I wish you could copy over the first frame.
We're
Yeah.
halfway
You would need an
through. It's
eraser.
a great time to hop on over to that second frame.
Oh god. This is so. Oh, I don't even know what to say. This is fun. I hope it shows it to me. Oh, it's not even going to show it to me. You don't even get to see your animation. I don't know. I'm liking this right now. Audience, chat, contributors. Mike Azul, it's like you're the invisible man. That's what your thing is. You're like, you put my glasses on and I'm invisible except for my glasses. Bing.
TikTok artistes, it's time to start overthinking your choices.
The peace out meme. Nice. I've not even heard of that. Just goes to show
The
you.
animations are in. Some
Ah,
of them are very
I was the
cool.
last one,
Let's
huh?
take a look.
You were.
Like always.
Try to trick your friends by writing a really delicious title for this animation on your device.
Oh, They tell you how many words you have left. Or characters.
Man, oh my God, why is this dog a centipede or a whatever a pede? I like it. It's no fart and burp noises. Very clean.
It's true. Okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay, which of these do you think originally inspired the animation?
Okay. I like it. It's
I can't wait to
cool.
see
This
what
is fun.
Gotcha.
Ah! Son of a gun.
This is it, right? This is the answer?
It's gotta be.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Ooh, I like the animations in this one. Good job, y'all.
That
This
was
feels
good.
smooth.
Yeah, this is a good. It's like a good evolution of drop.
I wish all the Droffles came in one big Droffle pack.
know. That's what people have been saying
Time to
about
type some
Jackbox for
titles.
forever. Oh, you could choose the animation speed when it's your picture.
Oh,
up.
really?
So you could be like, oh, do a little faster.
So many good options. Choose only one.
These are good. These are good prompts. Good job, guys.
Man.
Okay, who picked what?
Damn
Good
it.
job. Whoever picked that, whoever did that one, good job. Good job, Stealth.
I
That was
totally
it.
I thought that was
That
it.
was it. That was it.
Is it Bad Bunny?
No.
Oh man. The cutest mugshot ever?
Yep.
I almost picked that one. That was my runner
I was
up.
trying to make him cuter, and then I was like, oh, then I'll make him like mean in the next one because it'll be a mugshot. But I couldn't make him cute enough.
He looked derpy.
Yeah, he looks a little derpy.
Man, I'm doing bad.
He had 10
I
points.
have 10 points. 10 total points.
Type that title.
It's so funny that you could animate with 2 frames. It's so good. It's a good game.
Type something in.
I love the animations.
Here are
Bug
your
plug.
Okay, I'm actually curious how this one turned out.
Bug light.
Ooh. Stealth mouse.
Yep.
It's-
Bug plug. It's got to be bug plug, right? I doubled down on it.
Did you?
I did.
Oh no.
Man, it was like too long.
That's gross.
I was
I-
like, man, I know. I mean, you didn't come up with
I
that.
didn't
like,
come up
you-
with that.
I mean, it was good. It was good. It's just
And I
Mike
got
Azul got me big.
I got 0 points for that. I am in the
Man.
dumps. This is good. Mike Azul, go for the win.
This is the part of the drawing game where you do writing.
Like your little dolphin.
Well, this is what the group came up with.
Man.
Let's see what happened.
Yeah, I got some points finally.
Finally.
510, baby. That's it, right?
That's what I said it was. Nice.
All right.
All right.
I'm on the board, folks.
Yay. Dang, Mike Zool cleaned it up.
He's doing a good job.
Round 2
Okay.
is the same, but you're a couple minutes older. There's a new title on your device now.
I almost forgot I was doing 2 frames.
Don't get too crazy. These prompts are kind of fun. I mean, it gives you a whole nother dimension
Yeah.
to be able to do 2 frames like this. I like it. My big fingers not being
Yeah, maybe not the...
best they could be. I also want to see the animation. Let's see the stupid animation.
Yeah, like if you could just be like, play the animation, please.
All right, I'm submitting. It's much more peaceful. A lot of people were like saying, "Why is it always burping and farting on the other one?"
Yeah.
It has like a much more chill vibe. We have 55 seconds for your finished up animations. This is a good challenge because to animate something in 2 frames, they made it just simple enough where it's not frustrating,
Yeah.
but it's fun. You got 30 seconds, folks, if you're putting in that second frame. See some fun
30 seconds left.
animations.
If you haven't started the second frame yet,
All right.
I have started it.
the animations are in. Let's check them out.
Okay.
Excited.
Use your device to jot down a decoy. Put something down. If you're stuck, just write LOLOL.
You're stuck.
Which of these terrible titles matches that disaster of an animation?
Okay.
All right, let's see how this all shook out.
I'll take it.
Nice.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Damn it!
He doubled
I
down
doubled
on it.
down.
Doubled down on it. It's rigged chore wheel, of course. I doubled down on that, baby.
Oof. What's a chore wheel?
Look
Oh.
at it, you spin it, and it says, "Oh, here's what you need to do."
I see it now.
Cook and bathe.
Dude, I lost points for that. Mike Azul is taking it.
Okay, somehow this is very obscene.
Okay. My dog's gonna be in my nightmares tonight. The one that has a
Come on,
bazillion
type
legs.
something.
Almost done.
Time to ... vote! Exclamation point.
I already used my double down.
Oh man, I can't double down, and I've lost my double down.
Let's see what people picked.
Damn it.
You fool.
It was close.
Why would they do it as a bird and a thing?
I
Why
don't
would they do it as
know.
other things?
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
it was that one. It just seemed random. You're right. You're right. I did a bad job.
God, I went down to third.
It's all right.
We're getting crushed. Oh,
Tap your fingers on the keyboard to
That's a good
create
one.
a title.
He's yoked, y'all. Oh God, this is gonna be hard.
Look at all these forgeries. Pick the
oh
real
man,
deal.
these are all good.
Yeah. They all have the word worm in them too.
Okay, who got tricked?
Damn it, I did.
Kick a Chad Earthworm.
You know.
Good job. All right, y'all. Do you know what the
it?
the
Is that it?
Yeah, the tell is the apostrophe.
Because nobody puts an apostrophe.
Who would put apostrophe
Who would
in
put
there?
an apostrophe there?
I'll take it.
All
That
right.
helped me
That
out.
was good.
I needed it.
Yeah, totally.
I needed some of that. So I didn't have such a paltry score.
Okay, last animation.
This is my favorite one. Of mine. This is where I take the lead. Just kidding.
Is
I'm
it?
like so far behind. There's no way.
I love this new game.
Yeah.
Good call out, Ryan. Good
Right?
find. Drawful animate.
You know, just one little extra piece.
It was
so
not.
we
It
can-
was not much different
No,
than the
yeah.
main. Yeah.
So you're basically just drawing two drawings.
Worst guess. Just do it quickly.
It's good.
A strong showing. Now choose
Ooh.
one.
That's good.
Alrighty, let's see what you did.
Wish I could have double dropped down. I'll take it, y'all.
That was good. That was good. Good job.
Dope. Is that it?
That's it. That's
All
it.
right. He's eating the nacho as
He's
he goes
eating the
down.
nacho,
That's a classic
right.
Ryan little tweak to it.
Because I was like, how do you know that this is queso? Like, if
Oh,
you're not eating
damn.
it.
There was a tie.
What?
Holy crap.
Nice. Amazing.
Good job, folks.
Oh, man. Is that a...
Oh, it's a tie.
Dang.
Tie
Alright.
night. Yo, if you had one more.
One more.
Good job, chat.
Yeah, man.
Double crowns.
First one. Right off the bat.
That was hella fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, y'all? You like the?
You put it in the rotation of Jackbox, I'd say.
Oh man, it had been a minute. You and I were
Yeah,
going
right?
back and
I
forth
know,
on
that
number
was
ones.
true, that
It's
was
good for
true.
a chat to get in
Yeah.
on that. So, all right, folks, it's been a fun time today.
It has. Those reflection episodes. I don't know. I almost feel like we need to do like a mid-year one.
Yeah, I know. Like, where are we at?
Yeah.
And just have that discussion of
Right.
like cool things that are going on.
Even if it was just at the end of an episode one time, like 6 months from now. Halfway check-in.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's been a fun year in 2025. Looking for another great one in 2026. There's going to be more Jackbox, more podcasts, and likely more guests.
Yeah.
Probably a couple more slaps too.
Like always. All right. Well, we are excited to see everyone else in 2026 as we go forward. Thank you.
All right, y'all. You have a
good
great
night.
one. We will see you next time. Peace out.
Bye.